Right, my volume button on my Go XLR is definitely broken. I have to use the slider like a caveman. Ridiculous. Hello, boys and girls. How are we doing? Welcome to the pre-stream stream. This is where the cool kids hang. You join me amidst major internet problems and about 5 inches at this point of snow. We're this close. I mean, this is England. We're snowed in. 5 inches. We are snowed in. Amy was here this weekend. She's still here now. She's going to have to do her homeschooling from here tomorrow because I was supposed to drive her back over to her mum's this afternoon. And there's no way I'm getting her back. I can't drive in these conditions. I'm too incompetent. So, yeah, lots of snow. And to top it all off, lots of internet problems. So we are going to be operating tonight's stream on a 3 strikes and you're out rule. Not for you lot. You're still on 1 strike and you're out. But 3 strikes and you're out for my internet connection. I actually thought I might not be able to stream tonight. Our internet has just turned itself off 8 or 9 times now over the last 5 or 6 days. We had an engineer out on Thursday. Didn't fix it. We were supposed to have an engineer out on Saturday. Didn't turn up. We have an engineer coming out tomorrow. But now we've got all that snow. And the snow is still coming down pretty heavily outside. So I imagine that would be an excuse not to come tomorrow as well. So at the moment, we've got a pretty decent internet speed and it's not dropped all day. So fingers crossed we'll be okay for the stream. But I am warning you up front, it could just drop out. If it does, bear with me. I'll get it back up and running as soon as I can. And if it happens too often, we'll just abandon ship and try again tomorrow after hopefully the engineer has been and fixed everything. How are we all doing though anyway? How's everybody's weekends been? Have we all had a lovely time? Let's have a look what's going on down. Enjoying the Fit by 40 series. I'm glad you enjoyed that. You know what? I'm getting a lot of positive feedback for the Fit by 40 series over on the vlog channel. I am enjoying doing it. It's attracting some lovely sponsors as well. We had NordVPN as a sponsor for the first time today. So if you are on the lookout for a VPN, head over to the vlog channel. I've got a link for you over there, which will be lovely. If you don't want to go over to the vlog channel and do it, watch this space. Give me time. They should be over here too soon. Annie, thank you very much for the sub. But yeah, the Fit by 40 thing, it's not just a way to get content out at the moment, although if it wasn't for Fit by 40, there wouldn't be any content on that channel at the moment because there is nothing vloggable happening. Because even today, I mean, perhaps I've misunderstood the rules compared to everyone else in my local area, because everyone else who lives near me seems to think, oh, it's snowing. That means we don't have to socially distance anymore. So everyone's been out on their sledges and people have been meeting up and going for long walks. And you look out the front door and there's groups of people just messing around, having snowball fights, playing in the snow. We've not gone out because there's a pandemic on. So we wouldn't even have a snow day to vlog, and snow vlogs are always fun. So, yeah, there would be no vlog if it wasn't for Fit by 40. So Fit by 40 is here to stay, it probably permanently. And then as and when we add some vlogs back into the mix again, I'll probably just release them on a different day. And it will just be extra content. I think that Sunday 5 p.m. slot for the next year and a half is going to be Fit by 40. That's the plan. You're doing that team that's down the road from me. Am I, by golly? Have I got to drive tomorrow? Well, see, theoretically Anna's at work tomorrow, but she works 10 miles away from where we live. I don't really want to drive in it, so I've told her to phone in so she can't get in. I think 10 miles is a reasonable enough distance for us to say it's not safe for us to drive. Andy wouldn't cope with being in the car for all that time if there's extra time and queuing because of the snow. So I think there is a perfectly good reason not to go out at all tomorrow. Of course, as soon as the snow clears, I've got to get Amy back to her mum's house. We've done emergency clothes washing for her this evening because she's here for longer than she planned to be. But yeah, we'll see. Should we play some Football Manager anyway? Pronounce LLANELLI. That's the best I can do at the moment. I've been trying to practice LLANELLI. I can only do it a couple of times before I lose the ability to do that noise. LLANELLI. Something like that, isn't it? It's near enough, I think. As the most English person you'll ever meet, I think that's not bad for me attempting to say a Welsh word. I don't think. Right, let's switch over to the FM stuff. Here we are. If you haven't been in the save, this is only the second stream on the new save. And the general premise of the save is we started unemployed with all of the UK and Irish leagues loaded. All of the ones that are in the standard database. We didn't want to mess around with custom databases again because it was a custom database that killed FC Isle of Man. If you want to know what happened with that one, I made a video on that earlier in the week, which I'm sure one of you can link to down in the chat now for anyone who needs to know what happened to FC Isle of Man. But I thought, let's avoid any custom databases. Just do all of the UK and Irish leagues that are on the vanilla database and start unemployed. And there's just one rule for the save. The one rule for the save is I wasn't allowed to start in England. I had to go somewhere outside of my comfort zone. It could end up being a road to glory with LLANELLI. It could end up being a little journeyman non-league to legend type thing around the UK and Ireland. It could be a combination of the two. We might decide to add some more leagues at some point. We might end up in England. We might not. There's not really a plan. We'll just see what happens. We joined LLANELLI about 8 games into the season. They sacked their or in fact, they didn't sack their manager. The manager who was here before was the chairman, and he stepped down as manager, and he's now just the chairman again. Hired me to come in, and we've been fairly mixed form as we try and put a team together. We're not playing spectacularly, but we're doing all right. So we're going to play a game now. It's the 29th of December. We're playing what is it? Someone told me how to say this the other day. It's not Pontypridd, is it? It's what is it? Ponty something. Something that's not Prid, and I was told the other night and I've already forgotten. Because I'm an ignorant Englishman. But we're playing a diamond at the moment. We tried a few different things. And the diamond seemed to be the least incompetent option. Pontypridd. There we go. Thank you very much. I'll try and learn this stuff. The longer I'm in Wales for, the more likely I am to learn how to say all the Welsh teams. But who knows how long I'm going to be here for. Can I show my manager attributes? I can. Remind me after this game, I'll show the manager attributes. I mean, all I did was started with a Sunday League reputation, no coaching badges. And so that they're all mostly going to be 1s and 2s. I think on the little slider thing, I went all the way towards suit manager rather than tracksuit manager because, you know, Kev wears a suit. And I chose motivator, I think, as my managerial style. But when you've got no coaching badges and a Sunday League reputation, you don't really get many attributes to play with anyway. So even though I've chosen motivator, I don't think it makes much of a difference. But I think that's probably, for the type of save we're doing, the most sensible option for me to choose. And we're already losing. For a second, I thought we were winning. I couldn't remember what colour we played in. My instinct was, we're losing. And then I realised, no, we're not. No, we're not. Delighted to see you in the streamer showdown. Hopefully make it Kevy 6 times. I mean, I'll have to be in the next 2 to make it Kevy 6 times because I'm only Kevy 4 times at the moment. Kevy 5 times will be crowned next Sunday, though. We've got a week of Kevy 4 times left before I become Kevy 5 times. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And what a delight to see Ches involved for the first time. It's always good to have some easy to beat fresh meat added into the tournament. So, I mean, there's literally no one in it who's a threat. It's a bit sad, really. You'd think they'd be able to find someone who was any good at the game. I'm looking through the list thinking, beat Zealand every time I play him. Every time I face second yellow card in the knockout rounds, I knock him out. That's why they're called the knockout rounds, because they're the rounds I knock him out in. Timothy is all mouth and no trousers. And then there's a bunch of people who've never won it, despite multiple attempts. And then a Cambridge fan. So, you know, it's going to be a fairly comfortable route to Kevy 5 times, I think. I don't imagine there being much challenge, but it'll be a fun little stroll towards number 5. It'll be lovely. Is streamer showdown at night UK time? Yeah, it starts at 7 p.m. UK time on each of the 3 nights, I think. Unless they've changed it. That's how it always was before. I don't think they've changed it. Any surprise entries in the Rumble tonight? This is how out of touch with WWE I am now. Is it the Rumble tonight? I genuinely didn't know. I haven't watched any WWE for so long now. I vaguely keep in touch with it through listening to podcasts and on Twitter and stuff, but it's the 31st, not tonight. There you go. So perhaps I'm not that out of touch. I was going to say, I feel like I'd have heard more discussion of it if it had been tonight. I'll have to call you Kevy 5 times after Sunday. Absolutely you will. Is the draft format known yet? I don't know. Often when I get asked questions like that, I just lie and say I don't know. But now you've asked, I'm really not sure. That's really loud, isn't it? Let's turn it down. I assume it's a 500 million budget. I don't know that I've seen it. I don't know if that's been shared with me. I'm not sure. I'm sure Ben will announce everything soon enough, or maybe already has. Fiery Chariot, thank you very much for the sub. How will having a KFC affect my weight loss goal? Well, I won't be able to eat KFC because there's no KFC that delivers near me. And I'm not going to eat a cold KFC on camera. So the nearest KFC is like a 15-minute drive away and they don't deliver. So I like KFC. I'm not going to get one though, unless they're going to deliver one to me specially. And if they do, I'll take the vegan burger, please. Which they also don't do at the one nearest where I live. Well, they didn't last time I checked. They might do it everywhere now. I haven't actually looked recently. But yeah, I love KFC. KFC's delicious. However, I'm not eating a cold one. Goodness me. Snow's coming down heavy in Birmingham. I'm actually streaming with my blinds open tonight so I can keep an eye on the snow. It is still coming down very heavily here. Our patio table thing has got a good 4 or 5 inches settled on it at the moment. So that's my measurement of how much we've had since about lunchtime. We've had 4 or 5 inches and it's still coming down strong. So we're getting a lot of snow here. My nearest KFC is in another country. Nice. Vegan chicken burger is out now. Excellent. See, I've not tried that. So actually, I'm saying I don't want to eat a cold one. It might actually be a reasonable excuse to go and try the vegan one. And have that. Just see what it's like. I've not had it. And I've tried most of the other fast food places' vegan options. Very jealous. Love snow. None up here. I like snow normally, but, we can't go out and play in it because of social distancing, because everyone else is. So, what's the point? It's just travel disruption with none of the upside at the moment. Will I be teaching Amy tomorrow? No, her normal teachers will be teaching her. Everything's done via Microsoft Teams. So she's got her laptop with her and it'll just be as normal. She'll just do her normal school day. Why has everyone got snow except me? I mean, you can have my snow if you want. I miss a Zinger Tower Burger. KFC in Canada's terrible. How can KFC be terrible anywhere in North America? KFC should provide food for all competitors in the Streamer Showdown. I mean, for all I know, maybe they do. Remember, I've never been in it when it's been sponsored before. I had to miss the last one because that was the weekend we were moving. So maybe they do. If they do, lovely. But like I say, they're going to need to deliver it to me because I ain't going out to fetch it. Poor old Anna's got to get a taxi home from work on Thursday. This is how committed I am to the Streamer Showdown. Thursday night when the draft's happening, Anna doesn't finish work until 7:30. So she's getting a taxi home from work while I'm streaming the draft. That's commitment to the cause right there. Right, as it stands right now, we are finally up into the top half of the league, that's the goal for this season, finishing the top half of the league. We're there now. It's the first time we've got up there. Valdexos and Treebeard, thank you both for the subs. We're on a hype train, boys and girls. Somebody asked to see my manager profile, didn't they? So that's my manager profile. Like I say, there's not really much to it, is there, when you start as a Sunday League footballer with no coaching badges? And also, we can't do any coaching badges because the club doesn't have any money. So there's not really much to it. It's going to be an interesting ride. You can have mine from London. I hate snow. Awesome. You're right, Kev. North American fast food is typically better. KFC is the disappointing exception. How unusual. Good evening, Kev. How are you and your family? Loving the weight loss videos. Keep up the good work. We're all good, thank you. And I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. You could let them pick a squad for you, and then when you win, it'd be funny. I mean, I figure if I end up having to go and fetch Anna for whatever reason, you lot can just take over, and it can be like FM20 season 1 when you lot picked the squad for me, and we went and won it. So I could always just get one of you lot to take over pushing the buttons, and you can control the hive mind. Right, this guy is going to be leaving, and I don't really care because he's a winger and we're playing with a diamond, so he can go for all I care. KFC chips are rubbish. See, I like the KFC chips. I like, because they changed them, didn't they? And I actually prefer the new ones to the old ones, and I think I'm very much in the minority. But, I mean, I grew up on KFC as the only real takeaway we ever had. We'd always get but we never really had takeaway. Like, I'd never had a delivery pizza until I moved out on my own. I'd never had a Chinese takeaway or an Indian takeaway until I was an adult. We just didn't have takeaway food or fast food stuff when I was a kid. We'd do like birthday parties at McDonald's, and then we'd always have a KFC on the way to going on holiday every year. So wherever we were driving on holiday with the caravan, we'd stop at a service station that did a KFC, and we'd always get a bucket of KFC on the way to holiday. So that's pretty much, to me, KFC means I'm going on holiday. Relatively new here. Can someone please explain the Streamer Showdown to me? Streamer Showdown is a wonderful thing. It's basically where a load of Football Manager streamers all get together, do a big old draft mode and a league and a cup and play each other. And then at the end of 3 days of fierce competition, I'm declared the winner. Usually, that's usually the system for how it works. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday this coming week. It's streamed across everybody's individual channels. Plus, there's like a central Sky Sports News kind of thing on the FM Showdown channel. But just make sure you're back here Thursday evening, and all will become clear. I'm also going to try and put a video up on YouTube this week as well, just explaining it for newcomers, because I've had probably 10,000 news. Probably more than 10,000 new subscribers on YouTube since the last showdown I was in. So it probably wouldn't hurt to do a little bit of this is the showdown, I'm in it, this is how it works. Right, we also don't care if this guy leaves. Although, do we necessarily want to sell him? No, because he is a decent backup. We've hit the 1st of January, which means we might actually be able to bring some players in, although we do need to sell to buy, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Maybe we need to explore loans. Let's get a load of trials in and then look at loans. Everyone we can bring in on trial, we will. Although, based on that last result, we look like we're finally turning into a team, and we're where we need. We're not going to get promoted this year because there's only one promotion spot out of this league. It's a crazy league because there's only one promotion spot and no playoffs. So we're 16 points behind Carmarthen, and we're at a halfway point of the season. We're not going to make up a 16-point deficit in 16 matches. So we have absolutely zero chance of getting promoted because there's no playoffs. We're probably not going to get relegated. We're probably going to finish in the top half. So we're kind of building a team for next year already. This is why playoffs are so important to keeping leagues interesting. Right, let's get everybody in. Is this how the Welsh leagues are in real life? Because it does seem a little bit silly. Like I said on Twitter, it's awesome how when we raided Sponis, that he switched the game to English. Sponis is a hero. I found Sponis when I was managing Apollon on YouTube, and he was watching that series, and we got talking, and we raided him a few times then, and Sponis is a hero. Sponis should be in the showdown. Let's face it, Sponis is better than Work the Space. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Is this a road to glory? Not necessarily. It's we'll see what happens. The only rule we had was we're not starting in England. What happens for me? It's just a Football Manager save. I haven't done just a Football Manager save with no rules for ages. John Boy, thank you for the gifted subs. Oh, I've got to say a rude. I can't say that on the internet. Life of a Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime. I have to be family friendly. I don't have to be family friendly here. I don't know why I insist on doing it. And they say that word on The Simpsons. So by my own rule, I'm allowed to say that. Because my rule for YouTube has always been don't say stuff they wouldn't say on The Simpsons. So I could say that. I just, I don't know, decided to bleep myself. When's the Streamer Showdown? Next weekend. So starts Thursday. The draft is on Thursday. And then the showdown itself is Saturday and Sunday. We raided him the day you released the preview for Apollon. Did we? We're great. Could use donkey instead. I guess I could. Can I say... Oh, I can say... I was going to say... No, I can't say that. I'm sure there are lots of... I can barely say LLANELLI. I'm not going to be able to say that long place that they always used to try and teach people to say on Blue Peter when I was a kid. Used to be on Blue Peter every year. They were fascinated with it. Did you not just ask a minute ago if this was a Road to Glory and I answered you? Now you're asking again. I feel like maybe you're not listening. Which is a bit of a shame. Why ask a question if you're not listening to the answer? Much sadness. Which team was Jair on? Yeah, Jair was Spurs last year on Non-League to Legend. I think. Ha! There you go. Now I know you're listening. Brilliant. Oh, super duper fun. I love it. I love it here on Twitch and FM generally more than ever after seeing some of the vlog comments you posted. Vile people. Hope you're all okay. I mean, I'm used to it on the vlog. Ever since we started showing anything to do with Andy on the vlog, there's some hateful scumbags out there, and it's been kind of 3 or 4 years of it. And it's weird. There's different kinds of it. There's the real hateful people who seem to want him to die or hurt him or just can't stand the fact that he's autistic because they hate it. But then there's the people who are far too interested in him, like really over enthusiastically interested in him and are kind of obsessed with him. And I don't like that either. And then there's everybody else who's probably the majority of you lot who just watch and enjoy whatever I put up there usually, whether it features him or not. So I think people have got to get their heads around the fact that he's going to be on there less and less. He turned 17 this year. Next year, he'll be moving out probably and going into some kind of assisted living situation. That's always been the long-term plan. And I'm not going to go and swing a camera around in somewhere like that. So he's just not going to be on as often as he was before. There's nothing to vlog about at the moment because we're stuck in our house. We've done our daily routine. We've done house tours. You know, there's nothing to vlog. So I'm doing other stuff. I love watching LOLLUJO more than playing FM myself. Can't catch his streams often enough. Beautiful. That's the way it should be. We're about 25 minutes away from where the Go Compare Welsh guy lives. I mean, why do you know where he lives? Did I get sacked? I did not get sacked. Yeah, someone's already posted to what happened with the Isle of Man save. Yeah, I didn't get sacked. It just all went wrong. Google. Why did you Google where does the Go Compare guy live? How bored did you get to be like, you know what I want to find out today? Where does the Go Compare opera singer guy live? I want you to win the Streamer Showdown just because of the way you say LLANELLI. See, I'm already losing the ability to do the noise because it really dries my mouth out. Welsh people must drink a lot of fluids. That's all I'm saying. Playing FM and watching a stream is the perfect combo. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Which country am I in? We're in Wales. Is it still snowing outside? Yes, it is still snowing outside. Quite heavily. This is much heavier snow than we used to get near the old house. Clearly, we're in a snowier area. Where's today's episode of Non-League to Legend? There isn't a today's episode of Non-League to Legend. Non-League to Legend doesn't come out on Sundays anymore because Home is on Sundays. So there's 6 episodes a week of both Non-League to Legend and Home. So Non-League to Legend is Monday to Saturday. Home is Sunday to Friday. It's been that way for a few weeks now. Thoughts on AEW? I am a big AEW fan. Can I pronounce the famous long Welsh Tale name? No. I've had about 6 inches of snow today. We can't be far behind you. When I last went outside to check, we'd had like 4 or 5 inches. And I'm basing that on how far the table in the garden, how deep it is on that. I figure that's a good way to measure. But it's been snowing solidly since then, and that was like 2 or 3 hours ago. So we're probably close to 6 inches as well, I imagine. In case anyone needs something to play on Game Pass, I bought Deliver Us the Moon on PC. Played it on GeForce Now this week. It's a bit of action, lots of good puzzles. It's a great game. Splendid. What are my thoughts on Oculus? What, the VR thing? Or is there some other Oculus I should know about? If it's the VR thing, I really like the idea of it, but unfortunately, I get real bad motion sickness when I do VR. We had a Oculus Rift in my old school for a little while I was still teaching, and I couldn't use it. And I tried multiple. I've used the HTC, or whatever it is, a HTC one. I've used that at a couple of expos and got really motion sick. Anna's got a PlayStation VR, and I've tried using that, and I get really bad motion sick. I just can't use VR. So, unfortunately, no VR for old Kev. I get really bad travel sickness as well. I can't be a passenger in a car because I get real bad motion sickness. So I just think, yeah, can't really do it. In Stockholm, it snowed for a week, but now it's sunny. Is there still snow around? Kyle, thank you very much for the sub. The Welsh leaves are so broke. Explain. HTC Vive. Yes, that sounds about right. Yeah, that was the best one from all the ones that I've tried, just because it was the best graphics and seemed to be the most interactive and easily controllable experience. But it still made me violently sick after about 10 minutes. So none of them are any use to me. Do you think the difficulty of the game changes when you go 10 to 15 years in the future and it's all new gens? I've never done a save that far. I don't think the difficulty changes, no. I mean, it depends how you play the game, I guess. If you're the kind of person who signs all the players you've heard of from real life and likes using Wonder Kids lists and stuff like that, then yeah, obviously it's going to get harder in the future because you can't do that anymore. But I've never heard of any of the players at the start. I don't really follow much in the way of... Well, that's a problem. I don't follow much real football as it is. So I play the game as if they're all new gens right from the beginning. So it doesn't change for me. Leagues have no money. If you win the Premier League, you're going to get 40k. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think it'll be... I don't expect to be in Wales all the way through the save. I think that's unlikely. I mean, we might. I just think it's unlikely. Right, we need a left back because we've just broken ours. So, Aaron Pritchard. Let's offer him a trial. Offer him a contract. Sorry, he's already in on trial. Oh, bless you, Aaron. 8 quid. I'm still going to negotiate down. Oh, he's going to get a £5 a match. Bless his cotton socks. What an adorable boy. Is he the one who's injured? Right, he's the one with a broken ankle, so it's actually our right back. We've got 2 Thomases, and it confuses me. So we do need a right back as well. So let's get Chris Queeley. Is he gonna... See, he wants £10 a week on a contract. Oh, it's brilliant. Imagine ringing home. Mum, I've made it. Mum, I've made it. I've got a contract as a footballer. Oh, Chris, that's fantastic news. What are they paying you? £9 a week, Mum. Come home, Chris. Come home. Is he even Welsh? No, he's English. So this is Chris Queeley from London, who's going to come and live in Llanelli for £9 a week. I feel like that might not happen in real life. Who am I to say? It's not just me that does that when players ask for a £10 a week. Look, we're over our wage budget. I don't have a choice. Is this team part-time? Yes. Yeah, we're part-time. I assume we're part-time, paying that kind of money. We must be part-time. You can't pay someone £9 a week on a full-time contract. Booney Spur, thank you very much for the sub. You might not be worth £9, no stats for showing. I assume you mean no attributes for showing. Of course he's not going to have any stats, he hasn't played a game yet. They haven't sold out of the Avengers sleeping bags. I forgot about that. I didn't buy one in the end. Probably should have done. Right, Sean Howells. Do we want to keep Sean Howells? Probably. We probably do. So let's turn this down. Reject. You have no wage budget when I start with Port Talbot. I had 32k. That can't be right. Because I was offered the Port Talbot job and they offered me half this wage budget. It was like an £800 a week wage budget at Port Talbot. I can't see how they could possibly have given you a £32,000 a week wage budget. Unless you mean 32k a year. Are you doing it as a yearly thing rather than a weekly thing? Because otherwise I don't understand how that's possible. Have I found somewhere to live yet? Yeah, I'm living in the office in an Avengers sleeping bag. Because I can't afford anything. Oh yeah, yearly because I'm American. Okay, that makes more sense. That does add up to about the same then. I don't know why English football is all done weekly, because none of us describe how much we earn weekly, I don't think. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, obviously it varies now, but back when I had a real job, I couldn't tell you what I earned a week. I only know what I earned a year. That's how normal people do it. So I don't know why in football it's all done weekly. It's very odd. But I don't think it's normal for people to know how much they get paid a week, is it? Chris Queeley. There you go. Chris is in. Back to the old days of boot money. Money left in the boot. I don't know what that means. You can change it in FM. I know you can change it in FM, but in football terms, it makes sense to me weekly because that's how the British media talk about it. Like if I'm at like a Premier League club, I know roughly what kind of quality of player you'd give £100,000 a week to, and I'd have to be constantly translating it into weekly to decide if it's a lot or a little. I work in a factory and I'm paid weekly, so it's normal for me. Okay. See, I've never been paid weekly. So that's why I didn't know what I earned a week. I've only ever been paid monthly. Rob Owens. Have we already looked at Rob Owens? Rob Owens is the defender. Yeah, we don't really want to sell him. Where did you come from? The rain stopped. The snow stopped, is it? Snow stopped, boys and girls. Sad times. That was Anna, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen. Anna. It's deep. Players on 10 million a year sound so much more than people have hissy fits. I guess they would. Anna, have you ever known how much you earn a week? See, you don't know how much you earn a week now, do you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very confusing. Because we were just talking about, because in football, they always talk about how much someone earns weekly, whereas in every other job, we talk about how much you earn a year. Because I asked you the other day and you didn't even know how much you earned a month. You had to check. So you get paid monthly, but you don't even know how much you earn monthly. Yeah, exactly. Glider Dan wants to know, do spies get paid a lot? Did you hear that? She just walked out the door saying, wouldn't he like to know? And walked out. That's all you're getting out of her. Right, we don't want to sell any of these players with high potential. You could just divide your monthly pay by 4. Why wouldn't you know how much you get a week? Why would I know how much I get a week? And you'd need to divide it by 4.5 anyway, wouldn't you? Because there's 13 4-week periods in a year. So if you get paid monthly and divide it by 4, you're going to be in for a strange surprise at some point during the year. Yeah, there's no reason. I've never had a reason to know how much I earn weekly because all my bills are monthly as well. So my income's always come monthly. All my bills have always been monthly. Weekly is the only thing I've ever thought about weekly is how much we have to spend in Tesco. But even that is a very loose number that we usually ignore. And sometimes we're way over and sometimes we're way under. Easy enough to work out. It is, but why would you? Why do you need to know? What's the ultimate aim for this save? The ultimate aim is to have a jolly good time. There isn't really one. We're just playing Football Manager, and we'll see. We might move clubs, we might not. We might win stuff, we might not. We're just having lovely fun. I get paid 4 weekly, so I get 13 paydays a year. Nice. I get paid fortnightly. I think that's weird. That is pretty weird. You get paid weekly more with agency work. I'm not sure what that means. We do monthly because our bills are usually monthly. We shouldn't need to know weekly. Yeah, exactly. That's the same with us. You need to divide the yearly wage by 13, get the answer, then divide by 4, and then you get your weekly wage. Or just divide your monthly by 4.5, like I said. That works. Is the new house in the new house is the supermarket of choice Tesco? Yeah, but that's because we get stuff delivered. We don't have a Tesco anywhere near us. But we get our stuff delivered. Or we usually do. I'm having to do click and collect at the moment, but we still just go to Tesco because we've always gone to Tesco. There are multiple non-Tesco supermarkets closer to us than the nearest Tesco is. Or just divide by 52. But why? Because you don't need to. Most people don't need to know weekly. I get paid monthly, but I know how I get paid daily. Oh, it's getting confusing now. I mean, mine's extra confusing because I get paid varying amounts throughout the year. So I get paid and then I also pay myself, and they're two different numbers. I pay myself the same amount every month, but I get paid vastly different amounts each month. And sometimes, if I have a really good November and December, I'll give myself a pay rise. So yeah, I've just had my yearly pay rise. My pay rise goes through in January, so I've not actually been paid it yet. But yeah, I get paid completely random amounts over the course of the year, and then try and guess what I'm going to earn over the next year, and pay myself the same amount every month. So I'm not pay rise or bonus. Pay rise. I don't tend to vary it, so I'll spread the extra money out over the year. Because that way, if I've worked out my tax wrong or something, I haven't spent it all, so I can recover from it easier. Do I own a charity and loan myself a tax-free loan through the charity? No. I'm a YouTuber who gets paid different amounts, and it goes into my business account, and then my business account pays into my personal account. But they're both officially me. It's all very complicated. It could be even more complicated. I'm toying with the idea of becoming a limited company again, which I did toy with at the start, but then never actually used the limited company that I set up and just went as a sole trader because it was cheaper to do. But now it looks like there's some significant tax benefits at this point to being a limited company. And if I do it that way, I'll get paid, the limited company, my company will get paid varying amounts throughout the year. I'll then pay myself a set amount each month and then pay myself an extra amount each quarter, which makes it even more confusing. One of the reasons I need to figure out actually how to do that properly. I need an accountant who can explain it to me. Would furlough cover me? Well, it doesn't need to. I'm doing all right. And I'm not employed, so furlough's only for employed people anyway, isn't it? Do I pay myself a pension? No, I don't worry about a pension. I have other long-term financial planning stuff that I'm doing. I don't like the lack of control with pensions. I know you get major tax advantages to having a pension, but I don't like the lack of immediate control. So my pension will be property, probably. You should get taxed less on dividends compared to salary. That's the main reason for doing it. But it's complicated to set up. And I mean, the reason I didn't do it initially is because I looked into it, realized it was too complicated for my tiny pea brain, and I'd need to get an accountant to do it for me, and I couldn't afford an accountant at the time. So I just abandoned the whole plan and just went as a sole trader, because then I could do it all myself and just get it checked off by my cousin each year, who is an accountant. Whereas now I can probably afford an accountant now and should probably start saving myself the tax. But I don't have to sort out your finances. It's complicated. Lucy's card was awesome. Yeah, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you missed a treat. I should probably put that one up. I need to show you this. You haven't seen this already. This is the most accidentally, brilliantly trolly thing I've ever done. It wasn't intended to be a troll, but it turned into one by mistake. Where is the picture? Ah, here we go. So that's the card I sent Lucy for her birthday, and there it is in my ex-wife's living room with all the other cards she got. Spectacular. Spectacular work. Accidental trolling. Love it. What's the best way to get your board to agree to go pro when you have $1 million in the balance? Get promoted to the football league is usually the best way. I get confused by my fancies, let alone you complicated ones. Yeah. I can't imagine what her husband would have thought. Heavy 5 times next week. Absolutely. Not even in doubt. They didn't even try and get someone involved who might be able to beat me. Wow, and then you're not letting Amy go back. Look, I ain't driving through 5 inches of snow. Why have we got a 2-week break now? We should probably do a fitness friendly. Anna was telling me she was looking on the local Facebook groups. Apparently there's cars sliding back down hills near where we are. So, yeah, I'm not driving in that. Not. Oh, the Ragged School. We're going to have a friendly against the Ragged School. Brilliant. Scott Smith can go because he's not any good. So, yes, he can leave. No driving is fun if it isn't your car. Yeah, exactly. I'm not taking my shiny new car driving in the snow. That just seems like a terrible, terrible idea. Right, Pontypridd's goalkeeper. Pontypridd, isn't it? That's right. Their goalkeeper's better than our goalkeeper, so let's try and sign him. In fact, let's offer him a trial. See if they'll let us have him on trial. Shady's in, but not in. Hello, Shady. Not Shady. It's crazy how England can't handle snow. In Austria, this maybe slowed down traffic a bit, but stopped nothing. That's because you're used to snow in Austria. We get like 3 days of snow every 2 or 3 years. It's not normal. You should get tyre chains. I mean, I shouldn't, because that's a total waste of money. For the couple of times a year, or for the couple of times every few years it might be an issue, I'll just not drive my car. When I can't pronounce a club, I say some Welsh club. But I've got to learn to say it right. Yeah, if we got snow a bit more often, we'd be able to cope with it better, but we don't, so we can't. Easy peasy. Simple to understand. Right, this guy has potential, but not a lot of it. He's a winger. Is he actually costing us anything? Not really. We're not actually going to renew his contract, so we may as well just let him leave. Why did you take charge of a club you can't pronounce? Why not? The 1 or 2 centimetres of snow isn't a problem if you don't drive like you would on a dry road. I mean, if it was 1 or 2 centimetres, I would agree with you, but it's 5 inches at the moment. And still increasing. So that is quite a lot of snow. I'm Welsh and I've only said Pontypridd, not Prieth. Oh, here we go. Different parts of Welsh. Is that more than one? Well, there's 1 to 3 centimetres. Like, in centimetres, 5 inches in centimetres is what? 12 centimetres? Probably 10 to 12 centimetres. Way over. Are there really parts of the world where you don't know inches? Whenever it snows in Georgia, US, people freak out and crash left and right. Not used to snow at all. Yeah, that's what it's like here. It's 5 inches and it's still growing. Yeah. Yes, we're normal. What, you think it's normal to not know the alternative? I mean, I know inches and centimetres because I'm normal. Because we're on the strange cultural border between the US and Europe, where we're neither, but kind of both. Some places use sensible measurements. We're taught centimetres in school, but most of the media we consume is American, so we know inches and stuff from that. And the older generation in the UK all grew up on inches. Decimalisation only came in like a few years before I passed through the school system. So we kind of have to be able to do it both ways. One inch is roughly 2.5 centimeters, thought most people knew. Yeah, I thought it was just like a universal thing. Even the Americans who claim not to know what a centimeter is, I'm pretty sure they know a centimeter is like an inch is about 2.5 centimeters, surely. I still use yards for some things. Yeah, I mean, if I'm talking about football, I'll say yards because that's what they talk about. That's how it's talked about in football. In the UK, we switch between inch and centimetres all the time without even noticing. Yeah, absolutely. They're just two different measuring systems. Like, there's some things you'd measure in centimetres, some things you'd measure in inches. It's a strange one. Just like the change between pounds, stone and kilograms. I would never weigh myself in anything but stone, but I would never go and buy, I don't even know what it would be, a quarter of a stone of sugar. I'd buy a pound of sugar, or in fact, it wouldn't even be a pound now. It would be in grams probably on the side of the pack. Chef Rassiel, thank you very much for the sub. Blimey, Nitro's in. How are you doing? What do I measure in inches? Height. Well, I guess that's feet in inches, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know how tall I am in centimetres, but I know I'm 6'2". My name's Jody. I have autism. I'm a huge fan of yours. Hello, Jody. Stone's such an inaccurate measurement. I mean, it's exactly as accurate as kilograms or pounds because it's a consistent measurement. Yeah, TVs are done in inches, absolutely. British measurements confuse me. Too many different systems for different things. It's like I say, don't make this political, you monsters. It's because we were in the EU. So we had to start doing it the European way, whereas in the past, we'd always done it what I guess you would now consider the American way. But by being a part of the EU, we had to do it the EU way. Be interesting to see what happens in the next 5 years or so. Waist, inside leg, chest size. Interesting. Yeah, they would all be. I guess most stuff is inches when I think about it, but we were all taught centimetres at school, certainly of my age or younger. Has worked the space better than me. But what? At what? Don't know how we got away with still using miles on the roads instead of kilometres. Probably because of the expense of changing all the signs. So am I saying you're happy we left the EU? I'm not saying that at all. I'm explaining the reason why we had to do it both ways. I'll stay the same probably. It will stay the same probably. Even most Americans know the metric system. There you go. Unless you're converting, there really isn't much difference between imperial and metric, and the arguing over it is way overdone. Yeah. It usually, in my experience, it always comes from the kilogram kilometer brigade. They're the ones who have a real issue with it. The normal people don't seem to have a problem with doing it either way. Is Zealand better than me, viewers and content-wise? No, obviously not. My word. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. It's amusing me. The only time I think it's a bit silly is when you see engineers doing maths, not math, in imperial units. I think we need to time out Kev for talking politics. I didn't talk politics. I explained why we have both systems in the UK. I was taught the metric system back in elementary school, so it does exist in America. There you go. Surely Kegman is better than me. How do I say this without offending the entire Football Manager community? I don't think I've ever seen any of his stuff, so I can't actually comment. But I assume I'm better because I'm me and I'm better than everybody else. He might be better than me because I've not actually seen to check. Dun, 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 dun. Does the UK use Fahrenheit? Old folk do. Again, it's a generational thing, and it all comes into when the metric system was brought in the 70s. So I've grown up at knowing Celsius and don't really understand Fahrenheit, but my dad would use Fahrenheit. So again, it's a whole mess of stuff. We're just a mess with units for stuff in the UK. It's just an absolute mess. He won the Champions League with Boreham Wood in 9 years. Good for him. Who's the second best FM content creator next to me? Clates. Because he's sometimes here and I want him to go, oh yeah! See if he's watching. Dun, dun. Like you said, Kev, it's all about what you're talking about for measurements you use. Exactly. And was that another transfer deadline coming up? Oh, I guess it is. Transfer window. Boo. Hate a transfer window. I make you laugh with my answer to trolly questions. Which have been the trolly questions? I thought these were all genuine questions. Is it possible to start an FM save at a club where you have literally 0 players and need to bring them in? The easiest way to do that would be to do a create a club and not do the bit where you add players. Like if you wanted to, you could download the home database and start with home and not use the add players to playable clubs thing. How have they all been sent on coaching courses when I wasn't? I kind of clicked those on autopilot. Why do they get to go on coaching courses? Will I be trying my hardest to beat Chairs seeing he's a fan of Cambridge? I mean, it feels like a bit of a waste of effort to try my hardest to beat him. I'll make sure he gets beaten, but I think we could probably do that on about 40% effort. Are you better than Jay from the In-Betweeners? He took Woking from the Conference to the Champions League in 6 years and got offered the England job. Yeah, I'm better than that. I bought a player for 1k at Aberystwyth once. Record transfer was very exciting. That does sound exciting. Very much so. Hold on. Just need to check a text message I've just been sent. Important snow discussion. Apparently the snow at Amy's mum's house is even worse than it is here. So I might not be taking her back tomorrow either. I have to just keep washing her clothes every day because she only brought a weekend's worth of stuff. Has the Streamer Showdown full lineup been announced? It has, yes. My top 5 streamers are Kev, Keg, Mozza, Ben, Zealand. I mean, I've heard of 2 of them. So I know of the top 3. Don't know any of the others. Does the council do a good job ploughing? In my 38 years, I don't think I've ever seen a snow plough. I don't think we have such a thing in the UK. Certainly not in southern England. There's not really a reason to own a snow plough. We just kind of wait 2 days for it to go. That's shocking. I mean, it would just be a waste of money to own them. There's no reason to own them. There you go. They do in Scotland. Apparently Leicestershire do. Well, there you go. Leicestershire does. I've still never seen one. Can I say hello to my friend Chipper Killer? Hello. I always thought England is a cold country with much snow. No. I mean, I guess the north gets cold. And if you go north of the wall, up to the bit they like to call Scotland, I believe that gets quite cold and snowy. But round my way, nah, we don't get much snow. I've never seen it, but when I'm not sure what that sentence means. Did Anna go to work today? No. But she wasn't due to be at work today either. She only works every other weekend. Thoughts on the Manchester United result, Kev? Intrigue, because I don't know what it was. Love to see you live in the mountains here for a couple of years. I do not have any interest in doing that. That doesn't sound very much fun at all. I live on a hill now, and it's most unpleasant because I have to like walk up the hill if I go anywhere, and that's rubbish. I grew up in the Fens. I grew up below sea level. The idea of slopes on land is weird to me. I don't see why everywhere can't just be completely flat. It would make much more sense. Just flatten everything. In the mountains, you don't get the blazing hot days of summer. See, that sounds rubbish. Double rubbish. So you've got the horrible snowy winters and no reward for it in the summer. Double rubbish with bells on. You burn more calories going uphill. Yeah. Still don't like it. You wouldn't like most of Austria then. Probably not. It's hilly, not interested. But I'd rather be hot or cold. Just right, which I am most of the time. I mean, luckily, I live inside a building, so I can kind of regulate the temperature within it, so that I'm usually just right. And if I'm outside for too long, I'll usually go inside and regulate my temperature again. I don't particularly like being too far from just right. In the mountains, you wouldn't walk most places due to the sparse population. You'd have to drive. That sounds like a very unhealthy way to live. And it doesn't sound like I'd get very good broadband, so not interested. Will we ever find out what the jacket design that was cancelled? No, because I might be able to get it again at some point. It's better to be too cold. You can warm up easier than cool down in the UK. Yeah, I guess you can. What is this? Why is it switched back to that? Why does it keep switching back to the wrong system? That's ridiculous. Hey Kev, how's the fasting? Fine. I don't see that it's ever going to be difficult. It's just easy. It's just don't have breakfast. Don't eat in the evening. Easy. I highly recommend it. I mean, obviously it could reach a point where it doesn't work anymore, but at the moment I've lost £4 a week each week I've done it. It's really easy. So if I keep losing weight and it keeps being easy, I'll just keep doing it. Am I doing a 16-8 schedule? Officially, but it usually works out closer to like an 18-6 because I usually have my lunch at 12 and my dinner between 5 and 6. I'm basically just eating 2 meals a day. Do I not crave any snacks? No, because I'm eating enough for my meals. I think that's the mistake a lot of people would make with something like this. They'd limit themselves to 2 meals a day and then try and make those meals really low calorie, healthy meals. So of course you're going to get hungry. I'm eating twice a day, but I'm having about 1,000 calories both times I eat. So I'm pretty full when I finished eating and it tides me over to my next meal. So it's actually stopped my snacking. I used to be a big snacker, but I'm eating bigger meals now than I was before, but I'm only having 2 a day rather than 3 and I'm not snacking. So it's taken my calorie intake down from probably 3,500, 4,000 calories a day down to about 2,000. Easy. Eating like a king but losing weight. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we had a full fry up for brunch today at 12 o'clock. It was brilliant. I had chicken goujons and potato wedges for dinner. We have done a double meat day, which is not good. But I'll be back on the plant-based from tomorrow. It's because Amy's here and she's not vegan, unlike Lucy, who is. So, we just kind of tailor the meals to the stuff that she likes. But tomorrow we'll be back on the Huel and the plant-basedness. Snacking is the enemy of weight loss, no matter what you're doing besides that. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think you found a good plan. It's certainly working for me at the moment. And like I say, it might not always work, but at the moment it's really working. Do I have a sweet or savoury tooth? More savoury than sweet, although I do like to have a little something sweet to tell me that I've finished eating my meal. But that I could get away with like a hobnob or a square of chocolate, or as you've seen if you've watched my What I Eat in a Day, a hot cross bun. Hot cross buns are my thing at the moment. Loving hot cross buns. Do I miss the snacks? No, not really. Where's Dave? He'll be around somewhere. He's hanging out. He hangs out with Amy a lot when she's here. He's probably sat on her bed. Try some of the hairy diet recipes, really tasty and low in calories. But that's kind of the opposite of what I'm trying to achieve. If I had a low calorie meal, I'd have to bulk it out with like a splodge of Huel and a couple of hot cross buns. I'm looking to eat 1,000 calories each time I eat. So occasionally we'll have a really low fat meal and I'll have to bulk it out with some extra stuff. Because if I only eat 400 calories, then I will want a snack and then I will struggle to fast. So it's important for me to eat enough food. It can be quite counterintuitive to people who've only ever tried to do stuff like Weight Watchers or things like that, or really limited calorie counting, because it doesn't. My main concern each meal isn't am I eating too much, it's am I eating enough. So most meals I'm throwing some extra stuff in, like, oh, let's stick a banana and a digestive biscuit on top of this one, just to give me an extra couple of 100 calories, just to get me where I need to be. And that's usually the thought process I'm having every meal. How do I get a couple of 100 more calories in my mouth here without getting so full I can't eat them? Surely the way you're doing it is going to end up storing sugars, etc., having the opposite effect. Don't really think any of that's backed by science at all. I think that's conventional wisdom, which is usually wrong. because it literally just comes down to calories in versus calories out, and I'm on a huge calorie deficit doing this. My hold on, let's have a look at my app. I have burnt today 3,432 calories. That's with a short walk and just existing. So I'm on, and I've eaten. Hold on, so I finished eating for the day now. So I've burnt 3,400 calories, and I've eaten 2,100. So I'm on a 1,300 calorie deficit for today, which is a huge calorie deficit. So nothing's getting stored on a 1,300 calorie deficit. I've been on your lives on YouTube a few times, did a couple of super chats, but thank you very much. We're losing this game now. That's no good. Humans out, free energy machines. Calories in, out, always matters way more than everything else. Exactly. Exactly. Do I drink just water? No. I drink anything that's calorie free. So, like I say, I'm done eating for the day now. I'm officially fasting. I'm still going to drink my Coke, well, Diet Coke, because it's got no calories in. And I'll still have a cup of black coffee in the morning. And I'll drink a lot of water as well, but I'll still have my coffee and my Coke. Burned 4,000 from a long walk and existing, according to my Fitbit. Don't trust that too much. Depends how much you weigh. If you weigh roughly what I do, that seems about right. How many Cokes have I had today? 2, maybe? Black coffee is supposed to be good. Suppresses the appetite. Nice. Do I like the Nuffle? I do not like the Nuffle. With Diet Coke, you need to drink so much water, though. That thing dehydrates you hard. I don't know that I've ever noticed that. I mean, I know lots of people have lots of thoughts on it, and people get very passionate about it. It's almost up there with religion and politics, as you believe what you believe, and you're not going to listen to anyone tell you different, because it's weight loss and diet stuff is so ingrained into who people consider themselves to be. It's very difficult for people to look at it from other points of view. But ultimately, I'm on a 1,300 calorie deficit today. I'm going to lose weight on that. And I've not felt hungry, so it's sustainable. So ultimately, my goal is, will I lose weight, and can I do it for a long time? The answer to both of those is yes. Therefore, it's good. Might not be perfect. It's good. And good is fine. Should Kev watch the Super Bowl? I mean, you can do a poll if you want. I'm absolutely not going to watch it because it's on in the middle of the night. So even if I stop myself sleeping to watch it, it will just send me back to sleep because it's on in the middle of the night. So it's the most boring thing in the history of the world. If I wanted to watch 4 hours of adverts with the occasional running about aimlessly thrown in, I'd have a word for myself. I couldn't think of an alternative. I'd just be like, well, why are you watching that, Kev? What's your thought process? Don't air it tape delayed in the UK. Oh. Super Bowl is just about ads. It really sucks as a game. If people want to watch ads, they should just watch my YouTube videos. They're full of them. And have a nap during the Streamer Showdown and still win. Absolutely. Easy. Easy to win. Anyone who's not won the Streamer Showdown at this point, do they even know how to play Football Manager? You get more ads per minute in the Super Bowl than YouTube. Not close. Right, I'll up my ads per minute then. People get upset with the amount of ads I have. When's the Streamer Showdown? Next weekend. I had someone get really angry about it, like last week sometime. Really talking to me as if he had a clue what he was talking about. You've got so many ads, no one's going to watch this. You realise if you put less ads on, people will be more likely to watch your videos. And I'm just like, firstly, mate, I don't know who you are, but you're watching. That's why we're arguing about it. So it's not put you off. And you're vocally complaining about it. It's not put you off. And I've had 1.5 million views this month. I think I'm doing all right. I don't think I need to reduce my ads. Thanks. But he was so convinced he was right and I was wrong and that I should reduce the amount of ads to stop people leaving the channel. The fastest growing Football Manager channel in the history of YouTube. That's been held back by ads, is it? Okay. All right. Yes, I'm in the Streamer Showdown. But the same guy complained you only chose to show watchable content. Oh, that one was brilliant. If you don't follow me on Twitter, by the way, you really should. You miss all these gems. Because I had someone complain. I need to find it. Let's just pause for a second. I need to find the actual tweet because it's spectacular. Where was it? It was today, I think. So it's quite a recent one. I tweet some trash, don't I? God, use Twitter less. Someone actually commented this. Trying to rabble rouse. Anyone else think he records and shows the games and titles a viewer wants to see? Yes. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what I do. Yes, he's got me. He has got me there. I do deliberately show people the stuff I think they'll be most interested to see. I mean, I can't even argue with him. He's got me. Guilty. That was a comment on yesterday's Non-Lethal Legend. I have been exposed, absolutely. But I don't even know. I don't even know what point he's trying to make. I can't even imagine what his angle is. He must feel like he's got me banged to rights. I can't think. I can't. Usually, I can engage. I can shift my brain out of logic land far enough to almost see where they're coming from and follow their broken logic. But with that guy, I'm like, no, I don't get his angle. Maybe it's a compliment. I mean, maybe it's a compliment. It didn't read like a compliment though. It read like, oh, I've got you here. Same people would probably moan if you showed every game that it was boring. Oh, some people do ask that. Usually those comments go away after the first week of a new series. But usually the first 2 or 3 episodes of Non-Lethal Legend every year, I do get a handful of people saying, this is a joke. He's not even showing every match. He skipped like 6 matches since the last episode. What's the point? And my response is just, so you don't watch Football Manager on YouTube at all, do you? We do skip stuff because otherwise it would take a month to get through a season. So yeah, I'm going to skip stuff. If you want to see every game, play a save yourself, or come to a stream is what I usually say. If you want to see every minute of every game and you don't want anything editing out and nothing being done off camera, come and watch me on Twitch because you see absolutely everything over here. Even the boring bits. That should be the tagline for my Twitch. Twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. Even the boring bits, or where you see even the boring bits. We need to make it a catchphrase. I even show you the boring bits. then people say, why don't you stream on YouTube? And my response to that would immediately be, okay, Mr. YouTube viewer who doesn't come over on Twitch, let's say I stream on YouTube, you're going to give me a £5 a month for doing it. Most people on Twitch do. So, you know, I earn close to a full-time salary over on Twitch. Am I going to get that here on YouTube? No, I'm not. Because it's a different world where people don't join. I, for one, am reconsidering my sub. I specifically signed up for things I don't want to see. I'm sorry. Yeah, and the eggs in a basket thing. That's key as well. But, I mean, you just... It's... Over on Twitch, it's a different... I can't think of the right word. Just the attitude of the place. I don't know if that's what I mean. It's normal that if you enjoy content on Twitch, you sub, or you do a gifted sub, or you do some bits or whatever. In Twitch viewers are much more likely to throw a few quid your way if they're enjoying your content, whereas on YouTube, everyone expects to get everything for free. But I think that's because on YouTube, traditionally, you've got everything for free, and it's supported by ads, but ads don't run on live streams. So live streams on YouTube don't really work financially. I've just tweeted you 2 new belts in development. Would appreciate your thoughts on the look of the main plates. I will have a look after the stream. Now I feel bad for not subbing. Don't feel bad for not subbing. It isn't meant, that certainly wasn't meant as that everyone should sub. It was more of a, I can justify my time streaming on here because I make money doing it. Whereas on YouTube, I wouldn't. So it would be like, if I streamed on YouTube, I wouldn't be streaming right now because Amy's here. So if it was just something I was doing for fun, and I probably would still stream sometimes. If Twitch didn't exist, I'd probably do YouTube streams every now and again because they're fun. Streaming in general is fun. But like, I wouldn't be streaming now with Amy here because we could watch a movie or something. But because this is work, I've turned up to work. Generally try to switch my Prime between a few of my favourite streamers on Twitch. It's the best way. It's what I do. Basically, my Twitch Prime every month goes to whoever I happen to be raiding when it's due. So every time I raid someone, I have a look to see if my Twitch Prime is due. And wherever we end up on the day where I can do it, that person gets it. So it's pretty random. Follow on Twitch and most times get an ad before watching a stream. Not sure if you get the money. I do. Thank you very much. Wales is a fun nation to manage, and I just got Airbus UK from the Welsh North Division promoted to the Welsh Premier League. Lovely stuff. Imagine when they come over here and say, how dare you play on highlights while you're not watching the whole game? This is ridiculous. I know. Some people are just never happy. You get the human interaction you've spoken about on streams here. You can't talk to people the same on YouTube. I'm not sure that's true. I guess YouTube streams are always busier, so it is more difficult to have a conversation. Crazy Brit, thank you for the sub. I mean, if I was streaming this on YouTube, there'd be 2,000 people watching. Whenever I've done streams over there, it's mad. They are crazy busy. So it's harder to have the conversation and the human interaction. And also, you make a lot less money for a night's work as well. So it's doubly difficult streaming over there. We got an ad tonight. It felt strange. Well, you've got yourself out of ads for another month now, Kyle. Don't worry. Oh, yeah, it is much more toxic. YouTube is generally a cesspool. Is there a team called Boeing FC? If so, we need an Airbus versus Boeing derby. I don't know. I'm sure someone here will know. By the way, I have an injury to report. My knee, where I tore my ACL about 5 years ago. I was out walking in the snow today, just walking up to the shop to buy some eggs. This is why you should be vegan, folks. I was walking up to the shop to buy some eggs and just slipped slightly. And now every time I straighten that leg, my knee is clicking. And it hurts and it's swollen. And I'm thinking, I really hope I've not re-torn it. But if I wake up tomorrow morning and it's swollen up like a balloon, oh, that's going to be annoying, because that was the issue, the big issue when it was originally torn, because I never had the surgery to repair it. They said, oh, it'll heal itself over time, but it'll never be completely right. You won't be able to play competitive sport. You won't be able to walk in a straight line. But it's not a must. It's not essential that you have the surgery. But for about 3 or 4 months when I first injured it years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, whenever it was, I couldn't straighten the leg. Might need that surgery now. Oh, I hope not. God, that would be a nightmare. Hopefully it's just tweaked it. But I've got it bent under the table, but every time I can't leave it straightened out because it starts to ache really quickly like it did before. And every time I straighten it, it clicks and cracks. So, yeah, watch this space. You won't be able to walk in a straight line. I'm in that comment. I don't like it. I mean, I can walk in a straight line if I've got my eyes open. But they did say you won't. If I try and walk with my, they said you won't be able to walk in a straight line with your eyes shut. I don't know that that's something I need to be able to do. So I'll probably be all right. I had the surgery about 8 years ago. It kept giving way before I did. The surgery was the best decision I made. It's now stronger than before. Replacing with a muscle that, of course, can be trained. Interesting. How long's the recovery time on it? Like, how quickly would I be back at my desk making videos? Because that's my concern. It seems silly, but, you know, I have to be able to stream. I have to be able to make the videos. How long am I going to be not able to get my leg under the table? Isn't that impossible anyway, to walk in a straight line with eyes closed? I don't know. I can't say it's something I ever tried before. I can't imagine they're doing surgeries like that at the moment anyway, so it's not something I could go in and get done tomorrow. But what I don't want to do is, like, not be able to sit at my desk for a month. Because otherwise I've got to try and explain to the doctor why I need to time the surgery for summer. I can have a month off as long as it's in, like, August. I can afford August off. But any other month, can't really take off. Always be 2 meters away from your desk when recording. Just pay a doctor. Just find a doctor in the street and get him to come around my house and do it. You can make videos straight away. It has to stay straight. Recovery for me was about 2 months on crutches. It wasn't long. I'm still doing surgeries. My tag partner in wrestling has just had his done. Interesting. See, I guess I could fit it under there if it was straight. This is where I regret moving to a house where my bedroom's on the top floor. I've got to go up 2 flights of stairs to get to bed. I've never walked with crutches. I don't know what it's like. Even when I tore it before, I was never actually on crutches. Because I'm a superhuman and it wasn't torn all the way. Which is why I always say I tore my ACL to make it sound impressive, but it was a partial tear. It wasn't a full tear. They did say it could be done surgically. Good exercise to help my weight loss. Is it good exercise? I think it would just discourage me from going upstairs. You can guarantee I'd be moving all my suits down to the downstairs toilet, so I don't have to go up there to get changed constantly. Not bad. I'm a long-term crutch user. Use them every day for 3 years so far. Do they take long to master? The worst thing is the further damage that can be caused when surgery isn't done, which could be what I've done today, slipping. A stair lift. Oh my word. How much is a stair lift? And of course, as with any kind of injury, because I'm a fat guy, the first time I go to the doctors, they'll say, oh, it's probably just because you're fat. So I'll have to go 2 or 3 times to convince them to even scan it. So that's how doctors are. I mean, they might be different around here, but that's certainly how the doctors were back where I used to live. Or knee ligaments back in my football days, and this time of year always flares up due to cold weather. Yeah, that might be what's happening. NM12344, thank you very much for the bits. Hurt my back a year and a half ago. Still can't lift much. Doesn't bother me too much. Nice. Over £1,000. Just got one installed for my dad. Yeah, I'm not getting a stair lift then. Inspired to play by yourself and work the space. YouTube videos. Been playing 6 months. Taking Perugia from Serie A. Is it Serie? What's C in Italian? I don't know. Serie C to Serie A on FM21 is my greatest achievement so far, I think. What's my best piece of advice for new players to FM? It sounds like you've already done everything I'd advise you to do. If you've already achieved something like that, that's impressive stuff. I always say to new players, leave your backroom staff to do loads of stuff. Get them to do almost everything and gradually ease your way into the game. Like, don't go straight into it trying to do all your own training, all your own everything. Use a preset tactic. Get your assistant manager to do the training. Get your director of football to help with hiring staff, and then gradually ease your way into these things as time goes on. After a month, you'll be just using the crutches to support while walking, putting a little pressure on your knee. About 2 weeks where the crutches are a necessity, where you have to keep all your weight off it. Okay. Might need the Avengers mattress sleeping bag after all. That's a good idea. I mean, we've got a massive inflatable mattress that we got for Lucy when she stays over. She's used it once. Even when she was here at Christmas, she just slept in Amy's room. But we have got a big old double mattress, like a big inflatable thing. Cost me £70. That can go on the living room floor, so if necessary. I just won't shower for 2 weeks. Right. I've been playing FM since 14. Still have my assistant do all the training, not my job. Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I haven't touched the training in this save. Occasionally, I'll go in and tweak things a little bit. Like I might do some mentoring myself. It looks like that's been taken care of. I must have already done that. I might fiddle with the individual training a little bit here and there. I might add in like some match reviews or some team bonding, but I'm never going to go through and reset the entire schedule. That's definitely my assistant manager's job. He owns a tracksuit. I own a suit. He can do all of that. Am I remembering was Sedwin Scott a past non? Yeah, Sedwin Scott was a hero. Come on stream and all I can see is talk about crutches. Did I miss something? I've hurt my knee. I'm not on crutches, but I've hurt my knee today. Slipping in the snow like a big moron. That's how I'll describe it to the doctor. How can I help you, Mr. Chapman? Oh, I slipped in the snow like a big moron. It's snow joke, exactly. Oh. See, I've just straightened it again. Big crack again. Sure it's not because you're fat. Oh yeah, that'll be his response. So I slipped in the snow and I've hurt my knee. You see, if you weren't fat, it probably wouldn't have hurt your knee. Have you considered losing some weight? Oh, as it happens, doctor, I have considered losing some weight. I am trying to at the moment. I've already lost a bit of weight, actually. However, doesn't change the fact my knee does currently hurt. So I'll take your advice on board about trying to prevent future knee injuries. But for now, is there any chance we could, you know, look into the injury that I came in with? You know what, Mr. Chapman? Rest it. Try and lose a bit of weight. If it still hurts in a month, come back. And there, boys and girls, is every doctor's appointment I've ever been to about any kind of injury. Let us hear the cracking. Maybe we can diagnose. I don't know if the microphone will pick it up. I don't know if I can get it low enough. Should we kill the music? I don't know if it's ready to crack again yet. Not sure. Take 2 paracetamol for 4 days. I know. Right, hold on. The mic's going down. Don't know if it's close enough. Right, we have knee microphone. Hold on. We can. Get Dave cam on as well. So, knee, microphone. So if I bend it and then straighten it out. Did we hear that crack? I heard the crack. I don't know if the microphone picked it up. It's doing that every time I straighten it. What does that mean? And that's been doing that for like the last 6 hours since I slipped. No shorts, I'm disappointed. It's cold. You're not subbed now, you should be. I mean, yeah, that is content. Amputation. Have I tried putting a paper towel on it? Oh, we've got a PE teacher in, everybody. Leg will have to come off. I mean, it's been a cracking stream so far. Brilliant. Did you actually hear the crack, or was it a complete waste of time going through all that? If no one's clipped that, you're doing watching Twitch wrong. Ice pack. Ice pack is probably a good idea. Sounds like you may have hypermobility or EDS. I mean, it's literally started doing it off the back of a trauma. I'd say it's unlikely it's any kind of underlying thing. I've done something to it. Put it in rice. I'll put it in rice. I mean, we've got a big freezer now. I reckon I could fit in the freezer. Need an MRI to assess damage of ACL other than surgery and physio. Sadly, nothing else to help. Go with Nurofen. Can't take Nurofen because of my blood pressure. Paracetamol to help ease the pain. I tend not to take pain relief as much as possible because I don't really like it. I feel like I would rather be in pain but still have a clear head than be on any kind of pain relief. And it's one of the reasons I never liked drinking. I don't like any kind of change to my brain, which I guess if I had a really serious pain condition, I probably would change my view on that fairly quickly. But I didn't take a lot of pain relief when I originally tore it years ago because I don't like being on pain relief. But my dad says if it hurts when you do it, don't do it. I mean, I get that, but it's pretty hard not to move my leg. Most of the time, it's impossible to explain to someone what I'm watching when they walk into my room. You're watching my knee. Hopefully, I'll sleep on it and it'll be fine. Straightening it out, and again, in the same way with pain relief, I figure that over time the body builds up a tolerance. I want to make, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I certainly, whenever they've said, "Oh, take a bit of paracetamol to take the edge off," I've never done that. If it can be dealt with by paracetamol, then I don't need to take any paracetamol. Is my general theory. Like when I had my kidney stones, they gave me morphine a couple of times, and that was the... I don't understand. Here you go. Here's Kev's hot take for the day. I don't really understand how people get addicted to heroin, because the couple of times in my life I've had morphine, it was a really, really unpleasant experience. It just felt like my veins were on fire, and then I felt really ill, and then I passed out. And I don't see the attraction of any of that. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Did it stop the pain? I guess because I passed out. So it wasn't necessarily, I wasn't consciously thinking, oh good, the pain is gone. It was more, I wasn't rolling around in pain anymore because I wasn't conscious anymore. Still convinced it's cartilage damage after the slip, as the ACL would not be fully there to protect your knee. Maybe. How do you say that name? Cantwit? Something like that? Yeah, why are people getting addicted to the most addictive drug? Yeah, but my point is, why do you take it for a second time? if heroin's anything like morphine, firstly, I don't get why you would try it. But okay, you've tried it. If it's as unpleasant as taking morphine is, why are you taking it a second time? Why are you getting to the point where you're addicted? Because it's horrible. It's really horrible. I wasn't on morphine drip at 9. Fun times. Wow. From my FM knowledge over the years, I learned that torn ACL means 9 months out. I think heroin is much stronger, but I don't really know. I'm not a drugs guy. That's my argument with beer. It tastes disgusting to me, but people tell me I have to give it a chance. Why would I give something a chance if it's terrible? Yeah, I agree. But then on the flip side of it, I did go through that process with coffee because I didn't like coffee when I first had it, and now I love coffee. Yeah, but Kev, you say you don't like drinking, but most of the rest of the population do. Same with heroin. I guess, maybe. I really don't like I say, I really don't like losing control or feeling like my brain is my most valuable thing. I love my brain. It's brilliant. What a quote. I love my brain. It's brilliant. And I hate not being in full control of it. So that's why I don't like drinking. And that's why I would never be a heroin addict. There's Kevin's story. The control freak. Yeah, I am. Completely I am. Sensory Cobra, thank you very much for the bits. Been watching all your vlogs since day one over lockdown. With true inspiration and a great man. You deserve a lot of credit from where you are now. Thank you very much. Got drunk last night for the first time in a while. I'm struggling with alcoholism, so I think it's time to stop altogether. Definitely. I stopped drinking altogether 4 years ago. Not because I was struggling with it or anything, just because I got old enough to realise I didn't like it. So why was I doing it? I was only ever doing it to fit in socially, and I didn't really like it. And I started to get these things where sometimes when I drink, it would make my jaw ache. And I was like, am I allergic? I don't know. But it just got me thinking, I don't enjoy doing it. Why do I do it? So I just stopped drinking and haven't missed it at all. Once again, how do I explain what I'm listening to? Brilliant. Ready to batter Chesnoid in the showdown. Absolutely. Gnarly UK, thank you for the sub. I was given a morphine derivative for a fortnight. After 3 days, I felt like I was looking in on the world rather than being in it. Weird. Oh, that sounds horrible. Do I get a jaw ache or rash from alcohol-free beer? I don't know that I've ever tried alcohol-free beer, because part of the problem is I never really liked the taste of beer. So I certainly never would have thought, I've never tried alcohol-free beer, because the only point of having beer was because everyone else was having a beer, because everyone was getting drunk. So I'd have a couple of beers to fit in. I've only been really drunk like 2 or 3 times in my life. I would always just have a couple. But I wouldn't have an alcohol-free one, because what I would do, my thing when I was on nights out with my mates back when I was younger, everyone would start on the beers and I'd slowly nurse a beer while they were doing them. I'd be itching for when they moved on to spirits, and then I'd just make sure I was always the one going to the bar. So they'd all be on their Jack Daniels and Coke, and I'd just have Coke. And it'd be like, it looks like I'm drinking the same as everyone. Go get a Coke from the bar. Do you want a pint? Do you want a pie? Yeah, I'll have a pie as well. Do you want a pint? No, thank you. Can I have it in a normal like JD and Coke glass, so it looks like a big boy drink? I'd just like a Diet Coke in there. Thanks. Such a loser. And then I got to the point where I realised that was dumb. 2 or 3 times in your life. Jesus, I do it more than that in a week. I've just never liked it. A kidney stone's as bad as everyone says. Yes. My when I first went into hospital with my kidney stones, the nurse who was checking me in said, I've had a baby and I've had kidney stones, and all the other women here will destroy you if you say this in front of them, but take it from me, kidney stones are worse than childbirth, because I've done both. Do I like wine? No. Never liked wine. I used to quite like... What's the stuff that's... Amaretto? Or is that the biscuit? The thing that tastes like Dr. Pepper. But it's just because it tastes really sweet like Dr. Pepper. I'd like that with Coke because it would taste like Dr. Pepper. But it was just a really expensive way to drink something that tastes like Dr. Pepper. Amaretto. Yeah, I quite liked that, but it wasn't exactly the most manly drink. Can I have 3 pints of lager and an amaretto and Coke, please? Oh, is your girlfriend in? No, that one's for me. I'd like an amaretto and Coke, please. Gin and tonic all the way. See, I quite like tonic. Gin makes it taste funny. I'm such a child. I'm a 38-year-old man-child. I'm surrounded by my toys and my comic books, and I don't like alcohol because it tastes funny. Oh, what am I? How have I made it to this age in my life? That's literally the same thing I drank when I did, and that's the reason I stopped. Why drink something just because it tastes like a soft drink? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was much cheaper and much nicer just to have a Dr. Pepper. Although, to be fair, most pubs don't have Dr. Pepper, which is devastating to me. Amaretto doesn't go with Coke, surely. It does if you want it to taste like Dr. Pepper. Amaretto and Coke, Dr. Pepper. Learn to drink bourbon straight like a man. But why? But why? Have I ever smoked? I smoked for a long time. But then one day I decided to not smoke anymore, so I just stopped smoking. My brain's weird like that. But even there, I was a weird smoker because I smoked, but I didn't like cigarettes, so I'd only ever smoke menthols. Because I liked menthol cigarettes, I thought they tasted good. But yeah, I've not smoked for years. Just stopped one day. Would I vape? No, because it just seems like it's a really stinky, unhealthy habit to take up for no reason. I get that some people use it as a way to stop smoking, but as a non-smoker, there's no logic behind me vaping. Sat here listening to this, enjoying a nice New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. See, I do wish I liked grown-up drinks. Like I've never. I guess it's just the grown-up version of the FOMO I used to have as a teenager and 20-something of I want to be able to drink lager with the boys. It's now I'd quite like to be able to go out for a meal and have a glass of wine, and not be like, oh, it tastes of vinegar. Take it away. Can I have a Pepsi, please? Because I'd quite like to not look like a 9-year-old. But at the same time, that's just purely wanting to fit in. There's no logic behind me wanting to be able to drink wine. Just I'd quite like to not be a child. Menthols are like smoking a polo. I don't see the point. See, I like polos. Coffee is my wine. See, I do drink a lot of coffee. Have I ever had hard cider? What is hard cider? I probably haven't, but I'm not really in the market for new alcoholic drinks. I'm old enough and stubborn enough now to just be a teetotaler forever. Have a soft drink then. If anyone says anything, say you're the driver. Oh yeah, for years now I've just had soft drinks. It's fine. It's not an issue now. And I rarely go out anyway. I'm usually only ever in pubs or places like that when I'm at nerdy conventions. And Anna doesn't really drink. Pab doesn't drink at all. So there'd usually be me, Anna, Pab, and Sheepdog. Sheepdog drinks like a fish, so he drinks for the 4 of us. While the other 3 just sit there and laugh at him getting smashed. But even in recent years, he's been going with his family, so he hasn't been drinking on trips away either. So we kind of... I remember We were in London maybe 4 or 5 years ago for a convention, probably Comic-Con. And it was me, Anna and Pab, because Sheepdog was there with his family. And we were wandering around central London at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, 3 non-drinkers. Pab and Sheepdog are people I do my podcast with. They're my buddies. But we were wandering around London at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, and we rang Sheepdog because he used to live down that way. I said, what on earth is there to do in this one-horse town on a Saturday night? We're wandering around and everything's shut. We're just going to go back to the hotel. There is nothing to do here. And his only response was go to a pub, go to a club. We didn't want to do any of that. So we were back in our hotel by 8:30 playing a board game. We are so cool. We went to Waterstones just off of Piccadilly Circus. There's a Waterstones there that's open until 10 p.m. We went in there, bought a couple of board games, went back to the hotel and played them whilst drinking Diet Coke. Because we are proper hardcore. The most exciting city in the Europe. Oh, no, that might not be true. I'm sure if we were drinkers, there'd have been plenty to do. Hang on, you couldn't find anything to do in London? No. What do we do? If you don't drink, what do you do on a Saturday night in London? I am a baddie. Absolutely. They weren't even very good board games because it wasn't like they don't have a big selection of good board games in Waterstones. We couldn't like get a copy of Ticket to Ride or anything in there or something any good. It was proper family board game fare. But we enjoyed ourselves. Only ever been to London twice, both for wrestling shows. I've smashed both times. I think that's generally what you do at night time in London. Random question, but have I played Marvel Conquest of Champions? I don't think so. No, we didn't buy Monopoly. We have got multiple copies of Monopoly, though. Go to a show. We weren't really dressed for a show. I mean, that didn't occur to us. I guess we could have done. Didn't really occur to us. We were happy playing board games. We were all right. And then we learnt from that and stopped doing hotels and started doing Airbnbs because then you can just hang out back at the flat or back at the house in the evening and do what you want. It's awesome. We take the PlayStation down and nerd out. Do London in style. So you've gone to London, rented somebody else's house, taken the PlayStation with you, and you're just going to play video games with your friends in the most expensive city in the country. Yeah, it's great fun. Only times I've done stuff in London late has been football, a music gig, or a comedy store. See, this was back in our early days of going to London. We didn't know where anything was. I mean, these days there's stuff we probably could have found to do. But this was back when we were London noobs. Don't need to worry about it now. Perks of lockdown. Oh, I know. I am desperate to get back down there. I miss conventions so much. I like hanging out with my people. It's the only place. It seems weird, but they're the only places I feel normal because everyone's weird. Everyone's a nerd. Love it. Could have done some sightseeing in London. It was pitch black. We did a lot of that during the day. Probably going to be 2023 before you can go back to a convention. Oh, don't say that. I can't cope with that. I need to re-engage with my people. Never been to a convention. You've never lived. Beautiful. Just, I guess it's the same reason people love going to football matches. It's just, you're surrounded by like-minded people and it's cool. You could have gone on some sort of date. What, as a 3? What games am I most excited about for this year? I don't even know what's on the horizon. I'm quite out of the loop, which is terrible. I did download Red Dead Redemption 2, which I know is not this year, but it won our podcast Game of the Year vote. Game of the Generation, sorry, and I'd never really given it a chance. So I downloaded that and started playing that yesterday. I've now made it back to the same point I did when I played it when it first came out. So I've finished the first chapter. I've made it out of the snow. So I still don't know if it's any good because that bit was still just as boring as it was first time round, but I'm going to try and give that a proper try this week. I don't know, what games are coming this year? What should I be excited about? Did I go to Insomnia 55? I don't know. I've been to lots of Insomnias. I don't know which numbers. Where can I find the podcast? Someone should be able to link it to you. Am I angry with Cyberpunk yet? No, Cyberpunk's great. There you go. The link to the podcast is below. Have you found your fasting affecting your cooking at home? Are you making more fresh stuff as compared to just banging stuff in the oven? I've never really been one to bang stuff in the oven. We've done Gusto for years, so I usually cook something most nights. I like cooking. So yeah, I tend to... It's not really changed anything. What it has done is it made us have a takeaway we wouldn't have had otherwise. Because Anna finished late one night. So what was it? Tuesday night this week just gone. She finished at 7:30 and my cut-off for eating is 8. So by the time we got her home, I wouldn't have been able to eat with her. So I ordered Subway and I ate my sandwich before I picked her up, and then hers was sat there waiting for when she got home. So we had a Subway we wouldn't have had otherwise. But I think if you do Subway right, it's not that bad anyway, health-wise. Got a nice turkey and ham, lots of salad in there. Good stuff. Podcast link is dead, is it? That's no good. Oh, it is. Okay. Let's try again. I'm just trying to find an alternative one. I mean, if you search for MGP or Mature Gamer Podcast on Spotify or iTunes or Android, wherever you get podcasts from, you'll find it. I'm just trying to find if there's one that puts all the links in one place like before, but I don't know that there is. Let's do that. So this is the Spotify link. I'll update the link at some point with one that has all the links on. I don't know where people all listen to their podcasts in different places. Is Gusto expensive? Do I have a discount code if I want to try? I do have a discount code. It's in the description to most of my vlogs. If someone could grab that. Mods, if you could grab my Gusto code. I think it's £35 a week. That's for 4 days of meals for 2 people. Which, I don't know if you'd view that as expensive or not. It works out like £8 a meal. Which, I don't really know. Is that expensive or not? I've been doing it so long, I'm a little bit out of touch with reality on it. The #1 independent gaming podcast. It is. Factually, it is. Factually, the most popular independent gaming podcast in UK iTunes history. Badum. What a hero. Signed Taylor Crossdale for my Maidenhead team. Lovely. Have we got this link yet?
Odds, where's this Gusto link? Come on now. Odds, what, 15 quid to make it? Get this Gusto link then. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know. How many games left? Not enough for us to catch first. It's like 6 games left, I think. How far behind are we? Yeah, we're still 13 points behind with 8 games left. Not going to happen. There was a 16-point gap when we still had 16 games, so we've made up 3 points in half of the games we had left. Where can I find a Gusto link? If you go to today's vlog, it's in the description for that. Will we get part of the transfer window tonight? Probably not. I would suggest. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll go through till like 10 o'clock. I think we'll probably be playing games for most of that time. We might do a little bit. Who knows? Bum, 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 bum. way too much fun with that Go XLR. Look, it costs £250. I need to get some value out of it. A bit dearer than shopping yourself, but I suppose that's delivery and recipe stuff. Yeah. And also, certainly at the moment, when it's difficult to get delivery slots and supermarkets don't always have everything in stock, it's 4 guaranteed meals that you're going to have all the ingredients for, which is nice as well. For a lot of lockdown 1, we didn't do any shopping orders apart from for Andy's stuff. Me and Anna survived on Gusto and Morrison's store cupboard boxes, just so that we didn't have to go to the supermarket. And then we'd just stock up on Andy's stuff as and when we could. We got to the point where we couldn't even find that in the shops, so we had to get a whole load of stuff sent by Birdseye, who were awesome, and sent us a whole load of fish fingers and waffles to tide him through. There you go. There's the Gusto link. Thank you, Mike. Might be a new club at the end of the season. Yeah, it might be. Any tips for someone just getting into Football Manager? I would suggest you, if you've never, ever played it, maybe start with FM Touch because it's a little bit more simplified. If you want to start with the full game rather than FM Touch, make sure you use the staff responsibilities thing to give a lot of the mini tasks that can overwhelm you. Give them to your staff and just start with the easy bits. And start with a club that you know, like the club you support is a good place to start. Will I apply for any jobs or let clubs come in for me? I mean, I might have a look. I don't know. Like I say, no rules. Really should leave Wales. Why? We're having a lovely time now. We've not even done a full season here yet. And we're finally playing well. Oh, that's a lovely finish. That's frustrating. Did I watch any of Reece Bennett's charity stream? I didn't, because he did it on a work day, so I didn't have a chance to tune in. I was busy. Hell yeah, a Welsh club. Yeah, exactly. A Welsh club that I can't say. Llanelli. That's as close as I can get. It's becoming more of a caricature of the word every time I try and say it, I think. Start with a team you're familiar with. That's the best advice. Yeah, definitely. Not bad. More spit. I haven't got any more. This is what I was saying earlier. I don't have any more spit. At the start of the stream, I wasn't too bad with it, but my mouth is dry now. I've said it too many times. Right, we've drawn our last 3 games 1-1. We need to start winning football matches again because we were catching up. I mean, we're still way above where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be finishing. We're supposed to be aiming for a top half finish. We are doing all right. Try and read the name of the ground that match was played at. I doubt I'm going to be able to, am I? Taffswell? Oh, is that the team? No, that's the team. Ah! No, I'm not going to try and read that. Wow. Reece did well on his target for fundraising. Smashed it with 2 days to spare. Smashed it in the 12 hours he was streaming. Had the fundraising open for 3 days. Nice. Oh, we just got a board injection. Can I do my coaching badge now, please? Now we've got some money. Hooray! I'm finally starting a coaching course. About time too. We need a soundboard of Welsh clubs so Kev can just hit a button to pronounce them. That is not a bad idea. Reece wound up over 8 times his initial goal. That is awesome. Good work, Mr. Bennett. Ion Provisioner, thank you very much for the sub. 5 months now. What a wonderful time. 5 months. Best 5 months of your life. Oh, right. Clubs in Wales set to release youth players. I don't know how good this lot are going to be. And there's only 8 of them, which is alarming. But let's try and take them all in on trial. Maybe this is the route to getting some players that are any good. It certainly works in England. I don't know how good this lot are going to be. What tier are we in? We're in the 2nd tier in Wales. signed up for Gusto using your link. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it. It is awesome. I like it. Oh, this is a lot of trash. These are rubbish. That doesn't work as well as it does in England then, does it? Nobody going to talk about the pink suit. I mean, what do you want to talk about? It's a pink suit. I wear it quite regularly. It's a nice suit. Do you have some things to say about the pink suit? How good is this league compared to English non-league? Shall we have a look on the league reputation? So, this league is 157th in the world rankings. So should we try and find the English non-league? I thought I'd just seen it, but maybe I didn't. Probably be easier to just go to National League North. So this is 144th. So it's below National League North and South level. So you've got the National League North South there. And then the league we're in is 157th. So it's roughly equivalent to the Latvian First League or Austrian Level 5, Croatian regional leagues. Not as good as the Georgian National League 2. It's not a very high standard. Oh, but look at the potential on these youth players who've just come through. Lovely, lovely, lovely. That'll do. None of them are any good now. But there's some potential, and potential is nice. Maybe we'll do a Youth Academy challenge. It's nice to see some 5-star potential players. We're not getting any of them on the scout reports. Any job offers? We've not had any job offers yet. I mean, we've not even done a full season yet. We didn't start this. We started this season partway through. We were about 6 or 7 games in. Maybe even further than that when I got the job. And we're 6 or 7 games from the end of the season. So we've not managed a lot of games yet. In fact, I can tell you exactly how many games I've managed by going here. I've only managed them for 20 games. So I don't think we're going to get any job offers yet after 20 games. Deadpool, thank you for the sub.
14 months of radness.
14 months, beautiful.
And United beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. It's a good day here.
I don't know that I've heard anyone say rad or radness for a long time. That's awesome. We need more rad around here. I've ever tried Guinness years ago, yeah. Didn't care for it. Just was really bitter. Really bitter taste. Gig Doyle, thank you very much for the sub. How am I getting on with Huel? I'm really enjoying it. Put an asterisk next to that though. I've not had the Huel drinks. I'm having the hot and savoury like hot lunches that they do. The meal things. Which is like rice and quinoa and stuff. They're vegan lunches and they're nice. I really like the Madras one that they do. I've not tried the drink. The drink still freaks me out a little bit because it just looks like drinking a thick, lumpy milkshake. And I don't really like drinking my calories at the best of times. I don't think I'd feel full from a drink. Whereas eating a sloppy rice bowl hits the spot. Feels like a meal. I'm literally just looking into trying a Youth Academy challenge but struggling to pick a club. Pick the one nearest to your house. I can bring all the rad you need. I like it. Let's have more rad. Rad seems like a bit of a cringy word. No, it's a brilliant word. I grew up on rad. Does anyone else think Guinness tastes like burnt toast? See, I like burnt toast and I didn't like Guinness, so probably not. I prefer burnt toast. Do I like pot noodles? I do like pot noodles. I've actually described the Huel hot and savoury things as just tasting like pot noodles, but where you've chopped up the noodles. So you don't have the noodles, but the actual taste is pretty similar. So if you like pot noodles and you'd like a healthy alternative to a pot noodle, this, I mean, I'm glad Huel don't sponsor me because this is probably not the advert they want. If you want something that tastes like a pot noodle but is healthy, try the Huel Hot and Savoury. They're good. Pot noodles aren't healthy. I mean, no. Pot noodles are just salt distribution systems, aren't they? That's devastating. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break that to you. Pot noodles are largely devoid of any kind of nutrition. Guinness in Ireland's completely different to Guinness in England. Yeah, so I'm told, but I've never been to Ireland, so I guess I'll never know. Every student is crying right now. I mean, they should get some Huel then. I mean, a pot noodles, Huel costs about, I don't know, I bought a month's supply, cost about 60 quid for 28 portions. So what's that? It's like £2. So it's like £2 a portion. Pot noodles are like 2 quid, aren't they? It's roughly the same price as having a pot noodle for lunch. Cheaper than a meal deal. So students should just get some Huel instead. They'd feel much better. It's a cheap, nutritious way to eat. Now it does sound like an advert. I promise you it's not. If it was an advert, I'd be doing it well. I'm good at adverts. If any brands are watching, I'm good at them. This isn't one. Not eating healthy is part of being a student. Pot noodles are about 50p. I'm certain that's not true. Pot noodles usually come on deal for 50p. Seriously, I can't believe that. Pot noodles are 50p to a pound for king ones. I mean, you can tell how recently I bought a pot noodle. Anna has these noodle pot things. They're not pot noodles. They're fancy pot noodles that she takes to work most days. They're like Itsu ones, and they're like £2 a go. So maybe I need to shift her over to pot noodles. B&M 7 for 2 quid. All right, eat your pot noodles then. But Huel's nutritious. Pot noodles aren't. 75p for a pot noodle at Tesco. Look, I haven't bought a pot noodle for years. I also don't know how much a pint of milk is or a loaf of bread. I don't buy these things. Well, I do. I don't look at the price on them. I'm out of touch. So many of you telling me about pot noodles. I'd rather eat Piccalilli than a pot noodle. Yeah, I'm not really... I don't eat... like I say, I've not bought one for years because I have high blood pressure. Pot noodle is like me injecting death into my veins. Probably a better way to phrase that. But the amount of salt in them, I may as well just... Rather than eating a pot noodle, I may as well just really, really try and focus all my efforts into giving myself a stroke because they have roughly the same impact on my body. Which is why I don't eat pot noodles. Skillshare have put Kev in the top 1%. Not quite. They do cover my Huel though. Not directly. They don't pay me in Huel. But you could argue without Skillshare, I wouldn't be buying Huel. That is true. What's my favourite flavour of Pringles? I'm boring. I mean, you're going to hate me. Anna can't stand this about me. Probably just the red ones, the plain ones, the ready salted ones, whatever they call it. Because I don't get to have salt very often because of my blood pressure. If I'm going to have a salty snack, I just quite like the taste of salt because I don't get it very often. So if I'm going to have them, I'll just have the salty ones so I can enjoy something salty. Thanks. Which I realise is pathetic. Like properly pathetic. If you're not allowed the ones with no flavour, which I like, probably the barbecue ones are pretty good. Careful work for Huel. I mean, if you want to pay me in Huel, go for it. Have I considered any other brands similar to Huel? Because I'm a hipster, I'm not aware of any others. I just know the one that does the best Instagram marketing, which is Huel. So, are there alternatives that are similar? Are they as hipstery? Because the hipster points is important to me. Salt and vinegar. I don't like salt and vinegar. I don't put vinegar on chips, which offends most people. I'm not really a vinegar fan. There we go. WTF? This lad doesn't put vinegar on his chips. Get him out of here. Most of the time I don't have salt on my chips either. I just have them as chips. Because again, not supposed to have salt on stuff. There's Maxi Nutrition and Herbalife, which are quite popular, but apart from them, I don't know any others. Are they for hipsters? Herbalife, didn't David Beckham used to? Was it LA Galaxy was sponsored by them? Maxi Nutrition sounds like a sports brand. I want something that... The thing I like about Huel is that's what tech nerds have. I want something aimed at tech nerds, not athletes. Herbalife is a cult. I mean, so is Huel, I think. With my first order, they sent me a T-shirt and a little booklet telling me about how I was now a hooligan. I'm a hooligan, apparently. So I think they're all a little bit cultish. I don't know the rules for the Streaming Showdown draft yet, no. Herbalife's possibly one of the biggest pyramid schemes going. It's a pyramid scheme, is it? I didn't know that. Well, then I'm not going to get that. Fuel, I'm buying straight from the company that make it. Eagles, Toodle Pip. As a southerner, I got judged for not having curry sauce or gravy on my chips when I went to Leeds last year. Yeah, the northerners are weird. Don't worry about it. They can't stand a dry chip. All that says to me is they don't really like chips. It's what I always say about people who put sugar in their tea or coffee. If you don't like tea or coffee, just drink something else. Don't change the taste by adding sugar to it. If you don't like chips, if you have to drench chips in curry sauce or gravy, it's fine not to. You don't have to like chips. They're not good for you. You don't have to force yourself to eat them. You can just eat something else. It's all right. What about Huel Black Edition? Like I say, I don't really want to do the drinks. I might try them at some point, but I don't really want to be drinking calories. Ian Moondog, thank you very much for the sub. This is very un-British talk going on here. I think it's very un-Northern British talk going on here. Down south, chips are usually consumed dry. Herbalife's still the LA Galaxy sponsor, but are a pyramid scheme type brand, and Ronaldo uses it. So you're telling me if I have Herbalife, I'll look like Ronaldo? Because that might change my views on it. How hot is your Madras? Not like Madras hot. I think it's a little bit iffy calling it Madras because it doesn't taste like a Madras. It just tastes like a curry. I guess they just didn't want to call it curry. It's not that hot. Herbalife gives Ronaldo his personality, not looks. I don't understand what that means. On their website, they say it's their hottest yet. I mean, I've tried a few of the flavours. I don't dispute that it's the hottest one they've done, but it's still not hot. It's nice. It's my favourite one. For my February order, because this time I got Madras, the tomato and herb, the Thai green curry, and the Mexican chili. And for the February order, I've just changed it so I'm having 2 Madras, 2 chili, because the ones that have got a little bit of heat to them, I think are nicer than the less, like the tomato and herb one is a little bit, just a bit like tomato soup, and I can't stand tomato soup. Message Ben on Twitter. I heard he loves it. Well, failing that, just message Miles and ask him about it. What happened to the Isle of Man? There you go. We've got the response a little bit further down. Took nearly half my life to realise the rest of the country don't do orange chips. What on earth is an orange chip? You really get 7 servings out of a bag? Ask me in a week, because I'm rotating the flavours around, so I've not actually made it to the end of any bags yet. If I run out before the end of the month, I'll let you know. They do send you a little scoop to measure it out in, so assuming the scoop is right, I don't see why you wouldn't. But we'll see, I guess. FM Demort, thank you very much for the sub. Have I ever heard of a Wigan kebab? What's a Wigan kebab? No, I haven't. So I now need to know what a Wigan kebab and an orange chip is. You see, if you say orange chip, I'm thinking like a sweet potato fry. Is that what you mean? Battered chips. Okay. Battered chips. Why though? Just why though? Have I heard of pea wet? I've heard of it because I used to have to. One of the places in my old territory when I had a real job was Mansfield, and I remember walking around Mansfield and seeing a van that sold chips and pea wet. And then when I got home, because this was before smartphones, when I got home, I googled what pea wet was and was just astounded that these people would put the water that their peas were cooked in on their chips, because that's what pea wet is apparently. It's the water that peas are cooked in. A Wigan kebab is a buttered barm cake. Is that a bread roll? With a meat and potato pie slapped in the middle. I knew they did stuff. I didn't know that was called a Wigan kebab. I knew they had pie sandwiches up north. Surprised you haven't brought up Anna's mushy peas and mint sauce yet. I mean, that's just weird as well. When you go to Nottingham and they go giddy over mushy peas and mint sauce as a meal. Baffling. Don't worry, Kev, they're weird in the East Midlands. They're weird everywhere. Good to see our under 18s are top of the league, definitely. I mean, we're actually, since we switched to the Diamond, we've turned into quite a decent side in general. We're obviously not getting promoted, but I think we've got a decent chance next year. I put a Chicago Town pizza in a bread roll sometimes, my word. I mean, if we've got someone from the Mansfield area who can correct me on what pea wet actually is. I've never actually spoken to someone from there because I don't really want confirmation that it's real. But Google tells me pea wet is the water that peas are cooked in without any of the peas. Still kind of pumped about battered chips. Never heard of that. I mean, they sound amazing. Are they... I remember being over in, I guess it was Nottingham, Derby, Ilkeston kind of area, and they have scallops in the chip shop, which I was led to believe was a seafood. But apparently that's battered potato. Which, I mean, how can you just take the name of something else and call it something different? Baffling. Would I ever have insect products as an alternative source of protein? I don't know. Do I need to? I'm all right with my pea protein. Huel's full of my pea protein and my soy protein. That seems pretty sustainable. I don't think I need to have insect. Have we got any of our players up for this? I don't. This is stupid. I don't care about who wins this. Can I? You must vote for. I did. There you go. Was he called? Oh, I thought he was called Grant. It's Gareth Grant. They're called dabs up north. Actually, yes, but you can get a fish scallop, which is fish in between two pieces of potato battered. We call them fritters. Scallop's just a massive chip at the end of the day. Yeah. Best thing about a chippy is scraps. Absolutely. Americans deep fry everything. I mean, you could take the word American out and replace that with Scottish people as well. I think Scots deep fry everything as well. The only good thing that's battered is a battered sausage. See, fish is great. Battered sausages are great. I mean, wheeling all the way back around to KFC, like fried chicken, that's battered. That's a type of batter. That's great. I don't think I'd want like fish batter on a piece of chicken. Just beware, fish scallop, and fish patty is the same thing. Depending on the fish shop, you guys, it's so confusing. I mean, you get such weird regional things with chips as well. We went to Hull, and they have something called chip spice in Hull, which I've never seen anywhere else in the country. If you go to Hull, you're kind of expected to have chip spice on your chips. How does that become such a closely regional thing? There you go, straight in. Yeah, we love chip spice. And then someone else, what's chip spice? I don't even know what spices are they. It's like you put it on like salt, but it's not salt. It's some kind of combination of spices. Cinnamon. There you go. Is it cinnamon? It's Hull. But why is that so closely local just to Hull? Pie, chips, peas and gravy is the best. See, I would rather a fish than a pie. I'd rather have sausage than a pie. In fact, I'd probably rather have anything that chip shops do ahead of a pie. Chip shop pies are a bit grotty. I'd rather make a pie myself. Rather than having a really grotty pie that you don't know what's been put in it. Apparently there's an American chip spice. Wow. Oh, here you go. Here's the ingredients for chip spice. Salt, paprika, tomato powder, monosodium glutamate. I bet that's what makes it taste good. Onion and garlic. So not cinnamon. I mean, paprika on chips is always good. Sometimes if I'm making like potato wedges at home, I'll put some paprika on them because that is really good. In East London, there's pie and mash and jelly deals. See, I've never had a jelly deal. We did have pie and mash when we were last down in London, and it was good. I mean, we didn't do it officially. We went to Pie Minister. It wasn't like we got it delivered from them. It's not like we went to a proper pie and mash shop, but we ordered mash with it. We did it the proper London way. And they do a pie called the Kevin, which is their vegan pie is called a Kevin. It's brilliant. It is made specifically for me. I did have the Kevin pie, and I've since realised that the Waitrose near us sells Kevin pies. So I've had a couple since we've lived here as well. I do like a Kevin pie. Toad in the Hole is fantastic. Toad in the Hole is amazing. I can't imagine growing up in a country where Toad in the Hole is not a thing, because that little bit around the sausage where the batter goes really, really crispy is probably the best tasting food stuff in the universe. I made Toad in the Hole for my GCSE. I made Toad in the Hole for my Scouts cooking badge. I had to make Toad in the Hole. Parmo. See, I keep hearing about Parmos, and I've never been anywhere that sells them, so I've never been able to try one. It's just chicken in batter, isn't it? Is that what a Parmo is? Woohoo! We scored another goal. Please tell me you put gravy on your Toad in the Hole. Yeah. I'm not a monster. Onion gravy as well. If you're not having onion gravy, you're doing it wrong. Toad in the Hole looks so British. Your foods are weird. It is very British and it's delicious. Parmesan chicken parmesan cheese parmo is a dish originating in Middlesbrough, found throughout urban northern England. It consists of a breaded cutlet of chicken or pork, topped with a white bechamel sauce and cheese, commonly cheddar cheese. So yeah, I mean, it sounds nice. One of my guilty pleasures, which I don't have very often at all these days, but if I want to go back to my childhood and have a guilty pleasure, I really like the Bernard Matthews turkey, breaded turkey things that have got ham and cheese under the breading, which I guess is almost exactly like what you're describing. I forget what they're called. It's like the big flat Bernard Matthews turkey, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of ham, bread, the whole thing breaded. I'll have one of them. It's not a turkey Twizzler. It's massive. They're like this big. They're huge. Get them from Tesco. They're really good, but incredibly bad for you. We know about Weetabix, and you can't say you're not a monster here. I was supposed to get some Weetabix, wasn't I, and eat it on stream. Perhaps I'll get that for the showdown. Everyone else is going to be eating their KFC, and I'm just going to be there eating dry Weetabix with marmalade on, blowing their minds. You can keep your chicken. I'm a Weetabix man. It's not a crispy pancake, although I did used to love Finder's crispy pancakes as a kid. They're a thing. They're definitely a thing. I need to Google them now to show you I'm mad. We're 3-0 up. It's safe for me to show you. So Bernard Matthews. I can't type. Turkey, ham, and cheese. These things. Hold on. Turkey escalopes. That's the word I was looking for. These things. 2 golden breaded turkey escalopes, but they do them with ham and cheese. These ones. These are the best ones. You can see the shape of the cheese and the ham under it. It doesn't even cover all of the turkey. They're disgusting, but they're fantastic. Like all the best foods. They are my guilty pleasure. Love them. They're brilliant. If you don't like them, you're wrong. Do I like crepes? All right. Looks like a weird chicken Kiev. It kind of is. But they make me think of being a kid. It's a sort of weird thing that I'd have as a kid. Like, if we were skint, we'd get... I mean, you saw there, even now, £1.25 for 2. So me and my brother, I imagine they were like 50p for a pack of 2 when I was a kid. So me and my brother got something nice for dinner for basically nothing. So they remind me of that, and they were delicious. But to me, that's how I imagine a Parmo being. Sort of. Just having a Huel shake now, Kev. The coffee caramel black edition is genuinely really nice. Nice. Yeah, with chips and beans. Absolutely with chips and beans. Or if we wanted to be really fancy, like the... What are they called? Alpha Bites? The chips that are in the shape of letters or smiley faces or potato croquets. Basically anything from Iceland. Any potato product from Iceland to go with it, and some baked beans. That's dinner. That's midweek dinner. I want that now. I'm 38. I can't eat that. That's kids' food. Maybe I could justify it because Amy's going to be here tomorrow. Got to feed her. Can't spread my Gusto meal 3 ways. Google a chicken parmo. I've seen them, and I'm, like I say, we're having never tasted them. That's kind of what I imagine them to be, taste-wise. That's a proper 80s, 90s childhood food. Exactly. What about chips and gravy? See, I'm not from the north, so we didn't have chips and gravy. That's a northern thing, I think. If we were going to have anything wet with chips, it would always be baked beans. I think even that was just to pad out the meal and make it look like we had a vegetable. Why can't you eat it? You do what you want to be an adult. Eat your turkey, cheese and ham, croquettes and beans. I know, but it's not... I'm on a health kick. I can't have that. I have a kebab shop that does me a special kebab I designed. I mean, I'd be dead if I would live near a kebab shop that did me a kebab I designed. Beans hot or cold? I mean, if I'm having them with that, hot. If I'm having them in a salad, cold. That's a callback to the other night. Baked beans in cold baked beans in a salad. Oof. Growing up in the 80s and 90s. What's the goal with this save? Just to have a jolly good time and win some things along the way, basically. Have it instead of a takeaway one night. We might do. I might convince her. Anna hates it. She has her own weird childhood stuff that she likes. I might convince her we should have it tomorrow. But then I've got to get to a supermarket that sells it. I can't imagine the Marks and Spencers and the Waitrose near me are going to sell it, are they? I'm going to have to venture to the Co-op. Or Asda. Any English people know what a doner meat hoggy is? I do not. Try and move clubs as and when I can. Oh yeah, we'll move clubs every now and again. Ever had a Greek gyros? That's like a kebab, isn't it? It's like a Greek kebab, is that right? No, I haven't. An answer to that. I'm not really a big kebab fan in general. This guy is quite good, isn't he? Quite good. He did all right in that game. Oh, got to charge my ring before bed, apparently. Chips, cheese, doner meat with salad and sauce in a wrap. I mean, you can just get that from the kebab shop. Pretty much any kebab shop, you just have chips, cheese, and doner meat. I think that's just normal. That's a chip kebab. Why don't you get Sponis to buy an Apollon shirt? We did talk about it, but we were waiting until COVID to be done, and it still hasn't. Baked beans in a salad is just not right. Baked beans in salad is great. Don't want to say it too loud, but you're 6 points off. Really? Oh. We've only got 3 games left, though. We're not going to do it. Unless Carmarthen completely fall apart. We're not going to do it. And I don't think they're going to completely fall apart. If you've never had cold baked beans with a salad, try it. It's great. I mean, cold baked beans are just good all the time, really. Cold baked beans in salad, spectacular. Just cold baked beans in general. Most cold food is better than hot food. This is where I'm going to lose people again. I prefer cold pizza to hot pizza. I prefer cold lasagna to hot lasagna. Most food, I probably prefer cold. Going to button. Do you need to drain the sauce? No, you have the sauce. All the lovely sauce. Stop talking yourself into these positions. Cold pizza is much better than hot pizza because you can actually taste all the ingredients. Hot pizza, all you're tasting is heat and wet cheese and wet, like, tomatoey cheese. If you let pizza go cold, suddenly you can taste everything that's on it. Oh, it's great. Cold pizza is amazing. Stop before you get cancelled. Pineapple should be nowhere near a pizza. Cold baked beans and salad sounds like something out of an apocalypse cookbook. It's really good. We used to have it all the time as a kid. Sometimes, I've already told you one of my weird midweek meals. Another weird midweek meal we'd have, there'd just be a big bowl of salad in the middle of the table, some hard-boiled eggs, a bowl of cold baked beans, and some pilchards out of a can. And that would be dinner sometimes. That was one of my favourites. Cold baked beans, pilchards, hard-boiled eggs and salad with loads of salad cream and maybe like a slice of bread to mop up all the juices. Oh, brilliant. There's no way that cold beans and salad is a real thing. That's bordering on child abuse. We were skin. we're allowed to. I liked it. Listen to the privilege dripping off you people. My word. I can smell the stench of privilege from here. Oh, we only have hot baked beans. All right, Prince Charles and your hot baked beans. I make out we were so much poorer than we were, but you know, it's just sensible budgeting. I enjoyed it. It was a way to get kids to eat pilchards. So, you know, my mum was obviously doing something right. She got 2 young boys to enjoy eating pilchards. So she was doing something right. So glad you just mentioned using bread to mop up sauce and juices. My girlfriend thinks I'm weird for doing that. It's pretty normal. So poor we couldn't warm up beans. I mean, it wasn't that we were so poor we couldn't warm up beans. The whole meal was just like a cheap dinner. It's a can of pilchards. It's a can of beans. It's some eggs and a bag of salad. It's like, even now, that's like a £3 meal that'll feed a family of 4 for like £3. It's a cheap meal. We could have warmed up the beans, but the beans are nicer when everything else is cold, because the pilchards are cold out of the can. The hard-boiled eggs have cooled down. The salad's cold. You don't really want all that cold food with cold salad cream on and cold bread. The last thing you want is this one warm area of beans making the lettuce wilt. It was just nice. Sometimes we'd have a little bit of grated cheese as well on top of the salad and the beans and stuff. It'd be good. I don't think I've ever eaten meat or fish from a can. Pilchards from a can was quite a staple when I was a kid. Or sardines from a can, mackerel from a can. Isn't just cheap, it's really quick to prepare too. Yeah, exactly. Stop trying to justify that monstrosity. We enjoyed eating it. It was cheap. It was quick and easy. And actually, I bet if you ran it through MyFitnessPal, it's actually quite well balanced and pretty nutritious as well. So I will defend that with my dying breath. That was a good dinner. Anna wouldn't eat it because she hates canned oily fish. But yeah, I liked it. I used to love fish paste, crab paste sandwiches, fish paste sandwiches, anything like that. Sometimes we'd have those crab sticks that have no crab in them, the little pink, I think they have to call them seafood sticks because there's no crab in them. Everyone calls them crab sticks. We'd have them sometimes. They were good. Thinking about it, salad, eggs, baked beans and pilchards is quite a balanced, healthy meal. Exactly. And we were used to it. You know, we had it a lot. So it was just something we were used to. So it was a way to get a balanced, healthy, low-cost meal into us. And they were good. It was a good dinner. Was the other save not salvageable? I'm afraid it wasn't. No. It was not. So we're rebuilding in Wales. Bum, 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 bum. Ran out of my beverage, which is not good. I'm thirsty! Is it still snowing? I think the snow stopped, actually. My granddad would put any food between 2 pieces of bread and eat it. I mean, I think I could probably... There's not many things I couldn't put between 2 pieces of bread and eat. Didn't I bring 2 cans? No, this was a 1-can stream. Trying to cut back. What I forgot to do is bring my giraffe water bottle down. That's still in the kitchen, I think. Well, it might be in the living room, actually. Because we watched Wonder Woman 84 last night. Don't waste 15 quid on that, kids. We watched Wonder Woman 84 last night, so I had my water bottle in there. That film was rubbish. Have you seen Wonder Woman 84? Don't. Kev's tip of the day. Have you seen it? Don't. Just quick in there, but just don't. Don't bother. Rubbish. You need a Diet Coke button on your desk like Trump had in the Oval Office. That's amazing. My respect levels for Donald Trump have just gone to record high levels. I didn't realise he had a Diet Coke button on his desk. That's amazing. When am I going to have the next Dr. Pepper stream? When we hit 1,000 subs. Yeah, that's fair. I only summoned an aide to bring one now. I mean, if I had a way to summon an aide to bring... I mean, Amy's here. What am I thinking? I have offspring in the house. She could be fetching me a beverage. Why am I not putting this child to use? She could be earning the dinner I fed her today. Fetch me a beverage. Problem is, as a teenager, right, have we got any teenagers in? What is it with teenagers and not reading and responding to text messages? Do I have to Snapchat her to get her to respond? Her phone is always in her hand, yet she never replies to text messages and claims she hasn't seen them. So I could text her now and say, can you bring me a can of Coke, please? And she'll mention in the morning, why are you asking for a Coke? You sat next to me. Sent that 15 hours ago. Text her and make her do it. She won't look. Call and then she'll respond to the text. I'm not calling her. Send a TikTok video. I'm 20 and don't respond to my parents' texts. You're all monsters. Both of them are the same. They're monsters. I'm 17. We just prefer to look at other things. I'm not going to call her. I mean, neither of us would understand how an actual phone call worked. My phone is not for calling. People are young and it's depressing. I mean, I've got a daughter older than quite a lot of the people in here. It was Lucy's 19th birthday last week. So I'm sat here with a 19-year-old daughter, and as you like, some of you are younger than her. It's mad. I'm 25 and still ignore my parents' texts. Oh my word. I'm 30 and don't respond to my parents' texts. Send her a Snapchat, show your empty cut Diet Coke, saying you want a fresh one. Probably wouldn't know where to find one. That big white box in the corner of the kitchen where I fetch your food from. They're in there. Calls are for grandparents, texts are for millennials. I'm too old to know how to communicate with people younger than that. That's exactly the situation I'm in. To me, it's all about text messaging. As officially, despite being an old man, I am officially a millennial. I understand text messaging. And I would also say, bit of a Twitter pro. But once you get beyond that, I still don't really understand Instagram, even though I keep getting told I'm supposed to. The amount of times I get told off for not using Instagram properly. I'm leaving money on the table by not using Instagram properly. Yeah, but I don't care. It's rubbish. I don't like it. And then there's all this new stuff. Old man alert incoming. Snapchat's not even new, is it? It's probably older than Twitter. I never got Snapchat. I don't get TikTok. Right, I think this is our last game of the season. We might have one more. Twitter's the only good social media. Problem is, Twitter, no one... It's hard to monetize a Twitter. Whereas I do get the point that is made that you can make a lot of money on Instagram, especially if you're a busty blonde like I am. You can make a lot of money on Instagram. But I can't bring myself to work hard at it. See, I really like Twitter. Twitter's awesome. I mean, my Twitter isn't a cesspool and it's not toxic, probably because of the amount of times I use the block and the mute button. If people annoy me, if they annoy me in an interaction with me, they get blocked. If they do something annoying and I just notice it, I'll mute them. So my Twitter is very heavily curated. We started the new save last stream, so this is our second stream on the save. First season. We started partway through the year. We started unemployed. Partway through the year, we got the LLANELLI job. And we're not going to get promoted because there's only one promotion spot. Very sad. Thousand subs and you make bikini Instagram. No. No. I haven't got any more spit. I need a Coke. 19. Don't really do social media, but TikTok's an amazing time waster. Anna spends hours on TikTok. She loves it. She's never posted anything on there, but she could watch TikTok for hours. Occasionally she sends me stuff that I'd like. That's how I interact with TikTok. I have merch by a TikTok person because I enjoy this one TikTok account so much, but I don't follow them myself. I just get texted links to their TikToks by Anna because that's about as much as I can cope with. I can't really work out how to navigate around TikTok to see their stuff directly. So she just texts me the stuff that she thinks I'll find funny. I'm such an old man. You're going to look for a new job at the end of the season. I mean, we'll have a quick look. We're not going to necessarily search for one, but we'll have a little look to see what's available. I don't think it's that likely we'll get a new job because I haven't done a full season here yet. How confident am I for the FM Streamer Showdown? I mean, if I don't win, that's absurd. If I don't win, someone's cheated. Obviously, I'm going to win. Have you seen who else is in it? A bunch of numbskulls and nobodies. Vine was better. I used to love Vine. Worst thing that... I mean, what a sentence this was going to be. The worst thing that happened in history was Twitter buying Vine. Yes, Kev. That's the worst thing to ever happen in all of human history. Twitter bought Vine. Might be a slight exaggeration, but Vine was awesome. I've ever thought about doing a director football series. I have. It didn't go well. Who will I beat in the final? I don't know. I can't see anyone else getting to the final, but I acknowledge one of them probably has to. I just don't see it. Perhaps there'll be a way for two of them to knock each other out in the quarterfinals or something. I just can't imagine anyone else even making the final. Pumpster, thank you very much for the sub. Work the space getting a lucky run. I mean, that would be ridiculous. Imagine him making it past the knockout game. Ridiculous. I don't know. It would be quite nice to... I'd quite like to face Tom or Matt in the final. Just because a few smarty pantses like to suggest that either of them could beat me. Even though every time I've faced Matt in the knockout rounds, I've knocked him out. That's why they're called the knockout rounds, because that's the round I knocked Matt out. So he's no problem. He got his win because I was moving house. Or Tom. I mean, I've beaten him so many times. It's a little bit too easy. But he talks a lot, doesn't he, that boy? Zealand always... I mean, Zealand. Zealand. When was the last time I played Zealand and didn't score at least 6 goals? Dr. Benji versus Zealand in the final. I mean, you've made a bit of a rookie mistake there by naming 2 people in a final, neither of which are me, which obviously you've made a bit of a fool of yourself there. Maybe you've not watched enough of the Streamer Showdown to realise how obvious it is that I'm going to win it. I reckon you're secretly worried about Ches. Because he's the unknown. I mean... Oh, bless him. I've seen some of his streams. I think I'll be all right. I mean, how much harm can a Cambridge fan do? mean, I guess facing Ches in the final would be fun, because at least then I'd just get him dealt with in one tournament, and he doesn't need to come back then, does he? It'd be annoying to win it without facing him in the knockout rounds, because then he'll always have that. Well, you didn't knock me out. So maybe beating him just to get it all done within one tournament to simplify things. You play Zealand and grill him about why his fancy faceback keeps... If I tried to talk to him, he'd just mute me. Zealand doesn't let... Zealand only comes off mute when he's winning. So, like, for the first 3 seconds of any game against me. As soon as he goes behind, he goes on mute, and that's him gone then. We don't hear another peep out of him. Just joined, I'm assuming you're talking about Ben. Who's Ben? Don't even ring any bells. Kev defeats all the streamers and has to face the final boss himself. I think that would actually be quite a good way to add some challenge to the Streamer Showdown. Just get me to play both halves of a final. It's the only way I'm ever going to lose in a final, if I play myself. So maybe we could set that up, like have Kev A, Kev B. Blaming Zealand for my addiction to Red Dead Redemption 2. See, I have got that. I started playing that this afternoon. I might have a little go on that later. After I finish the stream, might have a little tinkle on it before bed. The perfect run would be beating Tom in the quarterfinals, Matt in the semi-finals, Ches in the final. No questions then. I mean, I don't need to beat Matt again. He's going to get a complex. I think I've beaten Matt in the knockout rounds every time I've won. There's really no reason to beat Matt again. It's always nice to knock Ben out. So let's knock out Tom in the quarterfinals. Let's take Ches in the semi-final, and I'll beat Ben in the final again, just because the look on his little face when he loses another final will be priceless. Oh, he'll be so sad. Is there anyone else in it I've not comprehensively dealt with in the past? I don't think there is. Fox in the box. I mean, he'll be out before I get into the knockout section, won't he? He won't make it past 6:45 on Sunday. Right, Melford Simpson's coming in as my new scout. Beautiful stuff. Foxy seems confident. He always does, doesn't he? He always does. And then the tournament starts. What's the format? I don't know. I've not seen an announcement for that yet. You can't win a Streamer Showdown as a button clicker. Button clicking is the great misunderstanding, the great misconception about Football Manager. Clicking all those little buttons all the time has a detrimental effect on your team's performance. You win at Football Manager by picking a system and then not messing with it. I've proven it 4 times. You don't click buttons if you want to win. So the button clickers are done. You don't need button clickers. Forget about it. Not a chance. Not even competition. My biggest fear. I mean, Tom is the one who's modelled his performance in showdowns on what I do. Tom tries to do things using the Chapman system, which is why Tom's quite a dangerous opponent, because he does things my way. Tom's quite smart. He looked at how I kept winning, and he's replicated it and picked himself up a win of his own now by doing things my way. So Tom is probably the biggest threat, because he's the one who knows what you need to do to win. No button clickers and corner hacks turned on. I wish there were corner hacks in the game. It would be brilliant. Unfortunately, there's not. There's just using your brain and aiming for the big lad at corners. If that's a hack, then having your best striker play up front is a hack. I'm in the semi-final of the FM Lockdown Tournament too by not button clicking. Exactly. Yeah, as Jack says, it's a Sunday night tournament as well. The last thing I want to do is show them on the Saturday night what my team for the Sunday night is. And it's a squad game, and people forget that. I get laughed at for having... I mean, I've drafted Jack Wilshere, Theo Walcott, multiple jokers, Jermaine Defoe. These are players who've played in winning finals for me in the past. I've had Theo Walcott score a goal in a final that I won, having been mocked for drafting him. Well, there he is scoring in the final. It's all about the squad. It's a squad game, boys and girls. Have I made a draft list yet? I don't know what the rules are. I genuinely don't know what the rules are for the draft yet, so I've not been able to. And once I know what the rules are, then I'll do some prep and we can talk about it a bit on Wednesday's stream, like you say. Yeah, I've had Lingard before. Yeah, have the rules been announced? I haven't seen the Twitter this evening. Yeah, Theo Walcott scored in a final. Absolutely. Yeah, the draft's on Thursday. The league will be on Saturday. The knockout on the Sunday. Do I normally do a prep stream? We'll talk about it on Wednesday's stream. We won't necessarily do a full stream, but Wednesday night, I'll talk through my plans a little bit. I won't go into it in too much depth because some of them are smart enough to watch. Obviously, the ones who talk the most smack wouldn't dare come in because they can't conceive that I might know what I'm doing, so wouldn't spy on me, which is where they go wrong. But the likes of Tom or Clates will come and watch and steal all my ideas. So we'll talk very generically. But I'll let you know roughly what the plan is. Donnarumma, my goal-scoring keeper, was class. He was. I mean, that was one of my... Although we've had bigger wins against Zealand, beating him with 2 goals from the goalkeeper was a bit special. Because Sir Pause-a-Lot did not know how to counter that, did he? Chez is doing a prep stream. What a silly boy. Do I do any recon myself? Doesn't matter what the other people are doing. Watching what other people are doing, that's the folly of the button clicker. What they do is irrelevant to what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up with my plan and do it against everybody regardless and not change it. Trying to play to the opponent is where button clickers start going wrong. Yeah, we'll talk in code. We'll come up with a secret code. Ooh, what a goal. I tell you what, if we'd have switched the diamond 4 games earlier, I think we'd have got promoted. Because we have looked like a very good side since we switched to this system. But now we're going to have a summer ahead of us. So tomorrow night it's going to be a transfer / job hunting stream. What about Dr. Benji? He hasn't got a clue, has he? Bless him. Bless his cotton socks. The one time you completely changed your plan for one game on Sunday because you lost on Saturday against him was a great success. I operate on the 80-20 rule, Mike. There's no such thing as an absolute. I'll follow my rules 80% of the time. It's where I put the 20% that separates the good from the great. I should be a wrestler. I think my promo game is pretty good. This is my favourite thing about Streamer Showdown. The build-up, the smack talk. Cutting promos on each other. Love it. Do this all day long. What's my manager rep? As low as it gets, I guess. I would be a good heel manager, I think. If AEW are interested, I'll come and be a heel manager for you. There's more to being a wrestler than promo. Not if I go to the WWE, there's not. That's literally all there is. You certainly don't need to be able to wrestle. If anything, being able to wrestle holds you back in the WWE. Just look at Ricochet. Oh, this boy's too good. Get him on main event, not the main event. like a discount Paul Heyman. I think I could do the Paul Heyman role quite well. I'd say with how scripted a lot of their promos are, even a good promo is wasted there. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's why I'll go to AEW. Who could I manage? I'll go and be Kip Sabian's manager. Although he's getting better at talking. I need an English wrestler. I think I'd be good if I got an English tag team. I need an English tag team to take in there, and I'll be their heel manager. I'll start my stable with a tag team. William Regal. I mean, he's older than I am. I don't think he needs me as his manager. What would I call my stable? Don't know. Cesaro could be in my tag team. I'll take him. Right, that is the end of the season, boys and girls. So after a pretty ropey start, we ended up finishing third, which, I mean, it doesn't really count for anything because there's no playoffs. So it kind of just stops. But we did do quite well. So let's have a look to see if there's any jobs we can have a look at. We'll do this properly tomorrow night, but we'll have a quick look now to wet the whistle, which is what I'll be doing immediately after the stream. So, of course, we can now look at English jobs as well. The only rule was I couldn't start in England. But these are the jobs that are available. I mean, I imagine I'd have a good chance of getting the Telford job, but I don't really want to jump over to the National League North at this stage, I don't think. Maybe we could head over to Northern Ireland. Head to Banbridge. I bet I'd get that job. Where's their league in comparison to this league? So their league is, oh my God, it's even worse than this one by a gazillion miles. I am not going there. Not a chance am I going there. What about... I mean, there might be a chance of getting into the Premiership in Northern Ireland. So Crusaders, maybe, who finished just outside of whatever that split is. I guess the Championship split. So maybe Crusaders would be an interesting one. Let's pop a little application in for Crusaders. I don't think there's anything else that's really right at the moment, is there? That's probably the one on there that's interesting. Yeah, they're top of the loser group. Right, we will find out tomorrow if we get the Crusaders job or if we end up staying with LLANELLI or transfers or what. We'll do this tomorrow night. For now, we're going to find somebody to raid. Who can we raid? Hopefully someone that I've smacked up this evening so you can go and laugh at them for me. We're not going to raid Sponis again. Let's raid Pokes FM. We haven't raided him for a while. Raid Pokes FM. I will see you back here 7 o'clock tomorrow night, boys and girls. Keep an eye on my Twitter because that might change. I might be driving Amy home. We'll see what the snow is like, but keep an eye on Twitter. If it's not 7, it'll be 8. I'll see you tomorrow, boys and girls, for transfers and job hunting. Toodle pip, everyone. Bye bye.
LOLLUJO, raiding with a party of 197. If my humiliation of losing 3-0 can't get any worse, nearly 200 people have just joined me. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Kev, how you doing, mate? We're all just about to witness an awful